G'day and welcome to the Inforunners. I'm Execute, joined today by my partner in crime or co-host, because Agrid's not feeling so well. Expat Brat, how you doing?
Hey, nice to see you. How you doing?
Good. It looks like you've got to go somewhere. Your character did what your character did before. I just looked at her watch. It was. I was saying before to Expat, she's like, "I'll be back in a minute," and her character just like looks at the watch and then she walks off. It was very. It's quite funny, the timing. But yeah. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, my character's always animating without me asking it to, but it's all good.
Yes. Yeah, so we're going to be taking questions, obviously, so I'll start the bot up in a minute. We're obviously going to try and watch ISC if that obviously comes up as well, but we'll be taking your questions. We're going to be doing Not a Tuna today as well, so I've got that set up across here ready to go. And Expat's going to be doing the questions today, so we'll hopefully find out a little bit about Expat and her nerdiness and the things that she's into and things like that. I don't know if people inferred from the title of this episode, but we're also going to talk a little bit about Starfield. That's I went with a bit of a different title. I don't know. Did you pick up on that? I know you said. I know you knew we were going to talk a little bit about
No, I didn't.
But that's why
I didn't. But I didn't think Starkiller was the title referring to Starfield. But that's cool.
Well, which one kills the other type of thing? So instead of like the Star Citizen Killer or something like that, I went with Starkiller. I was a little bit and then the picture in the background was a little
Vague.
bit like yeah. I went a little bit vague. I went a little bit off the cuff.
The picture's awesome.
Yeah, it's just a random piece of art that someone made, and I grabbed that, and it looks a little bit like Starkiller. So yeah, from that really bad movie.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm still scarred.
I get twitches in my neck when you talk about it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's start this bot up. She should have been around long enough now. So ready? Yes. Cool. Working on this end. And then I'm gonna do this. So obviously Expat's seeing all this stuff for the first time in the background. And then
oh my god, what is all this?
And then you can see they're starting invoked beginning. Bang. So she's up and working. So question bot is up and working, so she'll take your questions. First time chatter, nice to see you on Twitch. What's his name? Mike Dutchy. Why does that sound awkward? I don't know why, but it does. Anyway, Mike, nice to see you, buddy.
Oh wow.
Yes. Right.
Wait, so we've already got questions. So what do we do? What do we do?
I don't know.
I've got to try. I should have made my character's hair bald for this, and I can pretend to be Algrid.
Oh,
why, hello everybody.
You should
I
have
am Old
done.
Man Hurston.
Yes, you could have been Mrs. Old Man Hurston. Yeah.
I could have done an impression.
Yeah,
It's too late now.
Nice to see you're representing the ship showdown, by the way, with your Drake shirt on. I like to see. Actually, I need.
Well, I was just doing it for a popularity contest. You know, I just want to show that, like, you know, I'm into Drakes, because apparently we're all supposed to be into Drakes now.
I've got to go do the ship showdown vote actually really quick, so I'm going to toss it over and you can watch me do that real quick.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
The community has spoken. Oh, I didn't even get to vote.
Come on.
What? I missed out. Oh, I missed a vote. Shit.
Yeah, it won by quite a lot.
Oh, really? Wow, I missed the vote. Man, okay, I missed.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll talk about that later, or do you want to talk about it now?
Oh, we can talk about it now, but look, I'll turn on my votes. Oh, they've turned it off, but literally I missed 2 votes, so I didn't get to vote for the Redeemer up to here against the Vulture, and I didn't get to vote in the last one because I've just been too busy, you know. Well, you know what it's like. I don't have to explain it to you. You're a content creator, up all hours playing games and having fun, basically. That's my life. No.
Yeah, having fun.
Yeah.
So they say.
It's just my eyeballs out. Yeah.
Bethesda.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it can be rather stressful, especially with how I do stuff with Inforunners. And you're in a different country yourself from most, so you know what it's like. It does make it more difficult.
So how did you So you did a whole show on this. How did you think it went? I mean, like looking at it now, what are you thinking? What's the first thing that stands out?
So we actually had a little competition. I don't know if Lemming's around. If Lemming's around, we might actually get him to come on. So one of our mods decided to do. He asked us if he could have a ship to give away, and we had one person got every single one of these right except one. And basically, we got people to submit this image of what they thought it was going to turn out to be, and the person that got the most won a ship. Here's the irony of it: the person that got the most was another mod.
Okay.
He got, I think there's like 16, and he got like 15 of 16 or something like that. And yeah, it's pretty funny. He got all except one. You can never.
Do you know how he voted? What was his voting strategy? What did he think? Like, what did he think about the community? Like, how did he predict that so well? Is that just what he likes? So is he like a good representation of the community of Star Citizen, or was it something more strategical?
I think it's just you go with your gut, because like there's no way to tell what a massive mob of people can think. I just don't think it's possible, because you think, you go, I am the everyman. I know what this just proves. Nobody knows everything, because like it's just impossible to predict what other people are going to vote for. That's just how it is. And there were a lot of upsets in this. Like, I was really surprised that the cutter didn't win the whole thing. I thought the cutter was just going to go clean sweep and take the whole thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I thought it was gonna meme its way to the end. Actually, I thought it was going to be another MPV.
But do not underestimate the saltiness of Origin owners. Do not, they got forced to vote against three of their own, and then they pushed.
I might have a Drake T-shirt, but I also have a Origin jacket for a 600i. So
but that's the other thing. Like, the 600i in my book is like one of the worst of the Origin ships, and I would have taken any of it. Like, I thought the 400i was just going to go, be the contender for the cutter. Like,
but
I was
the update.
Yeah, but it's not out there yet. And the other thing is, it's already got 2 best in show skins. Why wouldn't you want to share the love around? But that's the elite jerkiness of Origin fans, isn't it? Right? I'm one of those people like
oh, come on, elite jerkiness.
I'm one of those people that it's like, well, if the cutter had won it, more people would have got a skin, would they not? Out of all the ships in this vote. That said, though, if the Vulture had come second,
that's true.
That said, once you get to this tier, you get a skin. So everyone, the Redeemer, the Vulture.
I did vote for the 800, the 890 jump.
Yeah,
I voted for that,
and
actually.
I didn't.
Because,
Algrid
come
did.
on. We've never seen it with a skin.
Algrid was in Discord recruiting people to vote for it. He was... he wanted it to win so badly. And I'm like, you cannot make me vote for that, man. Not in a bajillion years. So, yeah. Yeah.
Him and the 200 people that own one, right?
Really quickly, because I can see them in chat. Luna Maria, I was trying to get in contact with you, but I cannot find any of your details. So if you are on Discord, Luna Maria, could you please jump on Discord and contact me directly? Me and Algrid would like to speak with you. We have an idea we want to run by you. Calling you out.
Oh.
But Luna Maria, if you can reach out to me via Discord, I would appreciate it. Or you can contact us via the an email if you need it, or just PM us. Somehow bring us attention to somewhere, either in a comments post or something like that. Because I did try and at you at the comments, but I couldn't get it to come up either. So yeah. Hey Starlet, nice to see you as well. And Wuxry, nice to see you as well. And anyone else that's there that's doing 07s as well. There's a whole bunch of them. Sorry. Right. Yeah. As for this, my main problem with this when we did the show on this expat was a couple of years ago they told us they were going to change how this worked. And they because me and Paul kind of really pushed the MPUV, as did a bunch of other people, to kind of give them 2 messages. One, it doesn't always have to be these big fancy ships to make a lot of money, and they made a shit ton of money with that thing, right? And 2, we don't like how it works because it's very toxic, and we need something where like they should be making the skins free. They have literally monetized this. Right, those skins are exclusive. So those 5,
right, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Those 5 skins are exclusive, and we're saying things like they should be in the store, or you should be able to buy them. You should be not profiting off the backs of your customers from a popularity context, because
it's a community vote, right? It's a community thing.
Yeah, and it makes it.
But it's got nothing to do with the community beyond the vote, right?
That's it. And because everyone's getting shit for free, they are self-serving. So these are ships that's why the 600i gets up all the time. That's why it's not like a cutter that more people have, right? Because it's like, well, I don't own a cutter. I don't give 2 shits, right? that's how I was for a long time, and then I realized what they were doing, and then it changed my thought structure of how this works. All right, and let's be honest, you know, I'm not going to hit everyone. I'm not going to get the message out, but between all the content creators, we can get out that this is a little bit toxic and it's not great for us, because it does. Like all the talk, like I see a lot of talk on Facebook, Reddit, and other YouTubers and other Twitch creators. This is
it toxic though? I mean, I don't necessarily see it as toxic. I mean, if I mean, a little bit of like banter between friends and stuff like that. I mean, obviously there's always going to be people that take it too far, right? I mean, like, but
yeah, it's the
can
too
that
far
really
part.
stop us having nice things? I kind of enjoy the. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, one ship is going to get best in show. Do I agree that the Drake Corsair deserves it? No. I haven't liked the interior of Drake ships since I saw the Drake Caterpillar. I think the Caterpillar is amazing. In comparison to the new design of Drake ships, I find the new design of Drake ships is like almost like lazy, and I mean, I don't want to say it. I don't want to be too harsh to the designers of these ships, but it's kind of lazy in comparison, you know?
Well,
there's a lot of love, detail.
If you don't say it, they're never going to hear it.
Expression went into the interior of the Caterpillar. Well, a lot of detail went into the interior of the Caterpillar, and it's like, it's got that Drake aesthetic, but it doesn't look like it's going to completely fall apart. Like, it's a professional ship. It's something you'd pay a lot of money for. There's not like a ton of exposed wires hanging down from the ceiling. You know, the interior of the Corsair, like, have you seen the engineering bay? I mean, it's a disaster waiting to happen, right? I mean, realistically, if you paid as much money as you pay for a Corsair in the game, like, if you think about in-world, like, lore or whatever, this is supposed to be an exploration ship that you go off in for, you know, months at a time. And you've got, like, hanging wires everywhere, or, like, dangling cables, and the lighting inside is all, like, one
just breathe.
Tone,
you sound like you're gonna
color.
You sound like you're gonna pop a blood vessel from stress. I can hear it from here.
But if you look at the Drake Caterpillar, if you go into the interior, there's so many little details and point lights and different colored lights.
It's got a lot of garbage bags on the walls,
you know,
where
areas with smoke.
The Corsair feels more like metal, where the Caterpillar feels like a garbage bag wall chic. I don't know how to do it, you know. For me, I just think the interior is superior, personally. Okay, well, the layout of the Corsair is very nice, but the problem for me is on the exterior. It's kind of like a open pizza box and a banana peel had a baby, you know, and those wings just flop everywhere. You know, that'll get fixed, right? Like, I have confidence, and I can see, like, you know, if I can see the flaws, I know they got a whole team behind this. They're going to find the flaws and fix them. So, and clearly having those big wings will give you...
I'm surprised the Cutlass Black didn't go as far.
It's one like...
You're talking about the Corsair looking like a pizza box.
It's in a similar vein to... It's in a similar vein...
Poor Cutlass Black.
It's in a similar vein to the 600i. It's won a skin a few times, so don't worry. It won a skin in the first year, and it won a skin in the you know, that white, black, and gold one you were talking on stream the other day? You won that. The Reclaimers won a skin. The Caterpillar, Caterpillar actually took it out the very first time they ever did this. It took the whole thing. So the Caterpillar's got a skin as well. Oh,
nice.
The Redeemer got beaten last year by the Scorpius, but then this year it comes back and it gets one. But of course, you know, last year was black and red, which is my colors. So this year it'll be something like green, just to piss me off. And I have a sneaking suspicion. I was talking to... I can't remember who I was talking to.
It better not be green.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion because I think Squadron 42 is coming out this year. I think it might be Squadron 42 colors. So, you know, like the army green, the khaki, and the yellow. I think it might be those. So yeah, I could be wrong, but we'll see.
I think it'd be nice. To be honest, I've said this. I think it'd be nice to have like almost like a Mustang speed stripe style muscle car look, like like a shiny silver with like a stripe of something, because we don't really see stripes or anything in the game, you know.
So basically, you want to take the Cutlass Steel look and give it
something
to
classy.
You want to take the Cutlass Steel look and give it to everything.
Yeah, but like a clean
shiny
silver, not this like bashed up, scratched up. You know how they always like sometimes they make a silver for a ship and it's all bashed up, scratched up. I'm talking about like a clean silver, like you know, with a nice big speed stripe across, maybe like a two-tone speed stripe. Or the other option was pearlescent. like a pearlescent paint.
Yeah.
Or like from one angle you think it's just silver or something, and then when it hits the light you get like a purple or a something interesting.
When you were on stream talking about that, actually, the other one I thought of when you mentioned pearlescent, I don't know if you've ever seen like Counter-Strike gun skins, but you know the oily ones where it's kind of like, and they do it in real life, so they have like a shiny chrome and then they put like an oil over it and you get all these like purple and blue and green, you know that oily look, the oil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that, because we don't have an oily, we do have a metallic though, so yeah, I'd be open up to something different, not just a color. That'd be kind of cool, because honestly they've done a lot of blue and a lot of yellow skins, and they don't like, because they use red and green for St. Patrick's Day and different events, and blue and red. So red is usually Chinese New Year and Valentine's Day, and blue is generally Invictus. So when they've kind of dominated the three primary colors, we don't tend to get a lot of those on the other side at AIE, which is unfortunate. So I don't know. They've never done orange, and I know you're an orange person with your uniform and stuff. So
orange or copper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely metallics might be the way to go.
Copper colors look really nice.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
So you've do you think the so controversial one, but do you think the best ship won, or does this just prove your theory that the whole thing is a bit of a popularity contest? And well, because Drake, I'll tell you what, there's nobody more there's Drake fans are something else, right? Slap Drake on a ship and they love it, right?
It's really weird though, because
the logo and brand awareness is more than any other ship, I think.
It is definitely one of the most popular brands in the game, absolutely. But I actually think you'll find the reason is it appeals to many people for different reasons. So like you can obviously go pirate, right, and take that out completely, because most, there are a lot of people that like the pirate. But I had a whole discussion with Grim one day where we were talking about Drake aesthetics, and it's because it's, well, you know how what are they calling in Starfield? They're calling it NASA punk, right? The aesthetic of the ships in Starfield. It's the closest manufacturer that we have to today, right? They are. There's no one like that in Starfield, in Star Citizen. So that's the closest we have, and I think that's why.
Well, it's closer to the Expanse, right? As well.
Well, that's why it appeals to me personally, is because it is the closest to today, and we have this kind of. If you look at all, like, they don't give a shit about how these things look. They have to be lightweight and they have to get to space. That's kind of the goal here. Like, let's be honest. When's the last time you saw a pretty, like, other than Elon's ships, that's the only ones that kind of look half decent. All the others, do you know what I mean? Like, he's got a bit of a beautification. Even the spacesuits they've made are kind of a bit prettied up, But everything else is like highly functional, and they'll have like spikes sticking out. They don't care, because it's just got to work, and it's got to be light and functional. And
I'm sorry, nothing is ever going to be as beautiful as the Saturn V rocket. Oh my god, that thing looked amazing.
I've got that in Lego. And one of the Nota tuners we did,
it's fantastic. What cool.
What is this?
The paint they did was so sick. Just big United States of America down there. Oh yeah, man, those were the days. So
all right, so
what should we talk about now? Execute. What have we got to? Have they released the video now?
No, but we've got a bunch of questions there. So
should we do some questions?
You can do some questions, but just remember the stream runs out when the questions run out. So if you guys ask more questions, and feel free to ask some questions specifically for Expat Brat about what she does, like how do you get the cameras to work so fancy and what you do.
All right, let's have a look.
How come you look so attractive all the time and your hair looks exactly the same every day? How do you make your
character? Amazing, right? I've got a great hairdresser.
Yeah. It's
right. So
I want to know.
Question.
I want to know every time when I look at you in game, it looks like you've just farted though, because your character goes. Because you're obviously doing something and not on camera, but it's really funny.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if I could get a camera that could actually move around in on a circular track to follow my face. Like every time my face turned, it wouldn't do that. But it's every time I turn my face, we get that. So, John Ski question Gonna call it now for CitizenCon new ship, the Cutlass Steel. What?
The Cutter Steel, I think
The
you said.
Cutlass Steel?
The Cutter Steel?
Oh, the Cutter Steel.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think. Do you? I don't think so.
No.
Cutter Steel.
If you read the last bit of that, then
Cutter
it says
Steel all your money.
Then he says runs at the end. I think he was trying to trigger Algrid. I think that's what that was. But Algrid's not here today because that was posted before the stream started. So yeah. Real quickly, Algrid is in chat. So he's obviously lying in bed, relaxing his back.
Hi, Algrid.
Yeah, but Algrid, you were talking about Luna Maria. How about
this is a very comfortable seat.
How about you just talk to Luna Maria and chat yourself, Algrid, and get her to contact you, and then you can. I did tell her to contact us, and then we can talk to them. All right. All right. Yeah. So do you want to do the next question, please? I can tell you're looking at the questions monitor because you're doing this.
Yes. That's me looking at the questions. So,
yes.
with the new cutter variants coming soon, how do you think they will rebalance / nerf the quantum fuel tank level? Oh.
So I think...
Do you think they're going to nerf stuff for the new cutter variants?
Me and Algrid actually talked about this a fair bit, and we actually think that the original thing was a layover from what they originally was, and we actually think that, like, me and Algrid have looked at it at length, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, because I'll say things, and sometimes Algrid doesn't respond, and I think I got a yes.
Shove the words in his mouth.
But it looks like there are different engines on each 3 versions of the cutter. And so the cargo variant, or variant A, because they also have A, B, and C on the side, seems to have, like, in the middle of the road engines. And then it looks like the Explorer, the Scout one, has bigger engines. So it probably has a bigger fuel tank. So they might have had a bigger fuel tank on it. And it was a layover. So we actually think, well, I don't know if you know this, but when the cutter originally came out, it was also leaked with an Expedition variant. And that's one of the variants that are now coming 12 months later.
Yes, I saw that.
So
with a spacesuit, right? With a spacesuit storage.
That's it. And we actually, like, I have this whole theory, and I've said it like 4 or 5 times. I'll tell you later if you want to hear it yourself, because I'm sure chat's sick of it, because I've done it like 4 times now because I'm obsessed with it. But I actually think the original version of the cutter is for the Reclaimer. It's a snub for the Reclaimer, and it is that Expedition variant. And I think that was the original design.
The Reclaimer?
Yeah. Long story short, if you go look at the concept of the Reclaimer, there is a paragraph that talks about a snub ship called a cutter. Right? Long story short.
Okay.
I'll go over with you later if you want. I did send you a couple of videos on it, by the way, when you were streaming the other day. Remember? I sent you 2 little clips.
That. It's very cool.
Yeah, so, and I can go through it all and explain it to you, but I just, for the sake of chat, I don't think they can listen to me talk about it again, because I'm kind of obsessed with it. And I feel like a crazy pork even bringing it up.
For me, the cutter looks like an upside down caterpillar. You know, like you know the caterpillar cockpit.
Yep.
The bottom of the caterpillar cockpit. If you flip that upside down, that's the cutter basically. From what I can tell.
Well,
that's kind of where they were going.
As the Drake ship goes, though, it's actually got, and I got this when I was talking with Starjunk Grim. Actually, he kind of brought it up.
It's one of the better ones.
Yeah, well, he goes, well, when we were talking, it kind of came out between the two of us, but we actually said kind of does look like an Aegis ship in a lot of ways, because it's got those kind of Reclaimer-looking engines on the side, it's got a fatter butt on it, and it also breaks the Drake aesthetic where it's heavily armoured. You know, that's the opposite of most Drake ships. You know, the Drake's aesthetic is under-armoured and over-gunned. This is the only ship that they have that is over-armoured and under-gunned, right? And, so yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of people in chat that disagree with me, and that's all fine.
So you don't think the fuel tank's going to change then?
No, what I'm saying is I think they'll have different fuel tanks for different variants. So that's a very long-winded way to get to the answer. But what I'm saying is you can see different engines. So to give an example, the Scout one has a much bigger engine, and it's got vent intakes, much like some of the other Scouts. So like the DUR, it has actual fuel intakes on it, and it allows it to go further and more optimized and stuff like that. The Expedition seems to have a lot more fins and a smaller engine, so it looks like it's built around maneuverability rather than range, and that's what we'd need, because it's moving around and dragging salvage and components and things like that. So I actually think it has properly tailored engines based on what the ship is doing. So I think it's good.
All right, let's see. When will we see the North End Trooper ask, when will we see the BIS paints for the winning ships? IAE, I believe.
That is correct. They come out at AIE, and they will be appropriately coloured and themed to fit whatever that year's AIE is. And you can generally kind of guess roughly what they're going to be.
It's going to be 4 of them.
Five technically. So the
5?
Yeah, because the Corsair will get 2. So you get the fourth place.
2?
Yeah, generally. That's what's happened. Unless I'm remembering. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
No.
But I remember the winner.
It's just the one.
The winner gets a special one though. Like it looks. The
winner gets
better and grander.
I think the only thing that the winner gets is like a mini toy or
that's
something.
Right. Yeah,
right?
It's the backpack
compared to the rest.
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm wrong. It was in so the very first year there was 2. I'm mixing it up with the first year. So the very first year,
right?
Man, I'm getting old. Right? Forget everything I said. I honestly can't remember.
No, I think the first year was the white and purple. The white and purple, 2949.
Yes, the year of sexual.
49?
The year of sexual frustration is what I call it, because they were weird skins. They are
wow. Okay, chat. That's a story for another time.
Well, you know, purple's the color of sexual frustration, right? That's why your logo's purple, right? Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God. Right. Moving on. Right. When will we? Okay, so I did that one. Let's go with this one.
Best question dodge of all time. That's awkward. All right, let's move on. Yeah.
Let's move on. What's the deal with CIG changing the 400i skin colors after sale?
Oh, if that's the case,
explain that one.
Yeah, if that's the case, that would just be like some armors have their they break something in changing something, so it'll get fixed eventually. We've had that happen with another. I haven't looked at that myself because I don't own a 400i. But to give an example, the Mustang skins for a long time, the doors on the back were all white, and that happened on a few other ships like the Pisces and stuff like that. It's just something that's broken in the files, and they'll eventually reattach it and fix it. So just
it's a bug.
Yeah,
it's a bug.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll get fixed. Oh, whoa, the questions are moving around. The questions are all around me. All right, there we go. Right, so I'll mark that one.
All right.
Oh, I don't know how you guys do this. This is a thing. All right. Trooper asked another one. Drake has the pirate skins for their ships. What specific ship would look great with a pirate skin? Oh, I feel like it would be a ship that the pirates captured. I think like an 890 jump. 890 jump pirate version, right?
Great minds think alike, because that's exactly what I was going to say. It was really funny. We actually had an Origins and Drake discussion one day, and we had Stim Citizen and Griffin on, and they had never ever even entertained the idea that a pirate would steal their ship and use it. And I literally, I remember the line I said, you guys have got rocks in your head if you think no one's going to steal your 890 jump and not turn it into a pirate ship. And when I said that, they were almost mortified. I had to go, think about it. Pirates take what they things and they use them. You are going to have massive 890 pirate jump fleets come at you. I guarantee you'll have Origin pirate ships, and they just never ever considered that.
It's a budget capturable aircraft carrier, spacecraft carrier. And can you imagine, like, if the interior was all screwed up, like there was like beer bottles everywhere. It was like lights and mirrors cracked, and the bar is trashed. There's food everywhere. It looks like Grim Hex inside, basically.
What happens in some places, like I'm just going to pick a city that I know of that it's happened at, is Johannesburg. You know, that used to have a whole bunch of wealthy people live there, and a lot of people moved in and swatted in it and stuff like that. But I can picture like a 600i, and there's like almost like a throne or something up the top, and you've got the head pirate sitting there, and there's the girls and the some kind of exotic creatures and all that thing, almost looking like Jabba's palace type of thing. No,
absolutely.
Yeah. You could have space pirate expat
Jabba 890, guys.
Yeah, and all her man slaves. You'd be the opposite of old man Hurston. What's an uwu man?
Man slaves.
What's an uwu man? Is it? I've just said man slave, but what would an uwu girl be in expat terms? Her fanboys, because they run around and fan you. Is that what they are? They're your fanboys, expat fanboys.
No, listen. If anybody fans too hard in the chat, I tell them, dude, I'm a strong, independent woman.
Did you just go Australian? Australian independent women? Australian independent women. That sounded like Australian. You did look at Australian.
We got a weepy sleeper with a question. How did you get into streaming, both of you? COVID.
Yep. A lot of people come in during COVID. It was a big explosion beforehand. And I don't know about you, Expat, but I still see a lot of new people. Like one of my favorite things to do is go around and find new talent, because they always bring something. Well, that's kind of how I found you, yeah. I found you fairly early on. Yeah. I can't remember. Someone put me onto you very early on, because they know that's kind of my little hobby, my guilty pleasure running around.
It was probably the purple logo, right?
Yeah, I just went sexual frustration and it just drew me straight to it. But yeah, no, no, how did I get started? I just, so the actual, my housemate that doesn't really follow Star Citizen at all, he goes, have you heard about this game coming from Chris Roberts, you know, the guy that did Wing Commander? And, he goes, it's starting on Kickstarter today. And I went on and we both backed the same pledge. At the time it was called the Bounty Hunter Pledge. Turned out to be a 300i, so you now know I don't own that. I don't own that ship anymore. And I eventually turned that into a constellation. But yeah, and then I just followed it, and then I was like, man, I really like this game. It you know, as a former developer myself, I love the fact that there was no publisher, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna start talking about this game. And what happened was I was on Reddit actually, and I was watching the back then they had these 20 stories, you could still find them, that showed the history from now to when Star Citizen begins, and there were 20 little voice lines in them and stuff like that. But on Reddit I was like, does anyone want to help me voice these and put them up so people can, because I found them really cool, and I met two guys on there, and in the end we started a podcast called Star Signal, and that became a really popular, one of the very first popular things. And it was really humbling for us, because sometimes there were other podcasts that started up that all they would do was, we heard this on Star Signal, and they would talk about what we did on our podcast on their podcast. It was so weird to me.
Nice.
That someone else was repeating what I was saying.
People
like,
watching the people watching the people watching.
Yeah. It was like podception or whatever you want to call it. But it was really weird. And it still happens to me in Agra today. Like when people come up and fanboy over us, we're just two guys that really love the game. And I know you're the same, you know, like we're just people. There's nothing really special about us. I don't know, well, except that you're animated, but you know.
Hey, speak for yourself.
But yeah, and so yeah,
I'm a damn superstar.
Yeah, no, I don't have that. I don't like I've had people say that to me, like you're amazing, and I'm like, yeah, no, just a guy. I'm like, if you met me in real life, like I'm like at a kind of, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I've never done this. Where is it here? I'll just give you a second. This will really change your perception of me. So you know,
look at this Hollywood smile, guys.
I've got to wear these to read now, and that makes me look like an old man. Huh? And Daily Noob.
Oh, nice. You're going to take Algred's position before you know it.
Well, Daily Noob come up and he's sitting there playing this board game with two old men with glasses on going like this. I'm like, yeah. You know, now you know what you're in for, don't you? Like you're sitting here with two old guys playing a board game.
Yeah, but see, Execute with the glasses on. Now you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
See, now you're informed. See.
Yeah.
But I was playing just to briefly answer the question. I was playing Sea of Thieves at the time. We were doing a lot of interesting and funny shenanigans. I had a bunch of camera equipment and stuff from my job because I'm a cinematographer that makes TV commercials and stuff in real life outside of Star Citizen. Can you imagine? And basically, I was all set up for streaming without knowing it, and I decided to give myself a project which was streaming set up for $0. Even though that was kind of bullshit, because I actually had all the streaming stuff just because of my job.
There's no way it cost $0.
Pay nothing and stream, and I did it.
It's actually
no. The camera was like $6,000.
Oh wow, really? You were yeah, but that was a work one, right? Yeah. I was gonna say if you went out and so like
it's a workhorse camera, yeah.
Yeah, mine here I think it's like maybe 500 USD, but they're not cheap, you know. Like I still look at other streamers that are bigger than us, like and they struggle with equipment, right? I know, because obviously I know a lot of the Inforunners boys, they struggle sometimes. Like, stuff comes out and they're, you know, like, oh, they want to update. Like, to give you an idea, Paul still uses a USB microphone, you know, so me and Algrid are looking at trying to help him out to update his stuff and things like that. But you know,
I'm still using my old Zoom H4n recorder to put the mic into the computer. I'm still the webcam that I use for the face tracking is an old, like, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years Logitech.
Yep, and it's attached to the ceiling because you're looking up like this while you're looking at it, or that, or you're incredibly short. I don't know what it is, but it's one of the two. And
like, just some off-brand Chinese Amazon little light that's next. I mean, it's really a cheap setup. It really is, you know, to do this.
Yeah, but you're doing it a little differently.
Oh yeah, I was going to say. Did you watch that video, like the original video of, like, Chris Roberts in that, like, little room, and they were doing that little presentation at the games place? I don't know what convention it was.
Gamescom.
Don't you just wish you were there, like one of the 2 or 3 people that were clapping? I kind of really wish I was there.
Well, it was at Gamescom, and back then, you know, things are different. You got to realize, like, just to give an example, right? I know a few content creators know this, so you probably know this, but just for people watching, since COVID started, the number of citizens we have, or people that log into the game, has doubled. That's nuts to me. You know, like we're now up to, like, we're at like 3 million, and I think we're now at like 6 million or something like that. I'd have to go check the figures again, but that's crazy. Like, in just,
I think a lot of people got laptops and home computers because of the working at home.
Yeah, it was impossible to get video cards because of it, you know, and now everyone's gone back to work. Yeah. There's been a surplus of secondhand cards. That stuffed NVIDIA around awesomely. It was great. Everyone went back to work, so they decided to sell off their expensive video cards and flooded the market with 3000 series. So nobody wanted a 4000 series card, and because NVIDIA had the prices, most companies make maybe 20-25% profit on things, right? They were making 60%. That's how much and then you combine that with inflation and things like that.
Wow.
They were price gouging the shit out of things, and and now they've started it.
Scamvidia.
Yeah, once you start doing it, it's very hard to stop doing that because you've got to keep increasing profits for your customers. So now, for your shareholders, now they've done that. It's a practice that's going to continue. It could be they're very well undoing. It won't, because they've also moved into AI computing, and they made a shit ton of those. Their primary market is no longer gamers. It is now AI. So unfortunately for us as gamers, NVIDIA will move on eventually, and AMD will probably come in and just. That's why AMD hasn't been fighting them, because they're seeing that there's no real need, because NVIDIA are not going to be trying as hard, you know. But this next set of cards that are about to come, because of the way AMD went in with chiplets, it looks like they might natively take them over. But the problem is they're not trying to compete with them at all. There was a third card meant to be coming from AMD, and we're all like, yeah, it's going to equal it and force the price down, and they just didn't release it. They just didn't do it. They just didn't want to fight with NVIDIA, and they've gone for these budget options instead, because that's where they make all their money, on these budget cards. They're playing it safe, and it's kind of shit. So yeah. Oh.
Next question here I've got from Algrid. Expat, are you?
Hang on.
Yeah.
So John Ski in chat is trying to pick. It says Stanfield. Oh, Stanfield has killed Star Citizen. I think he's trying to be a joke. So Stanton has killed Star Citizen. I think he's that, or he can't spell.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Just to have a break from the questions, because
Sure.
And by the way, if ISC drops, guys, please let us know. But Starfield, have you been enjoying it? And is it the Star Citizen killer?
No.
No, you don't enjoy it. Okay, cool.
To even compare the two? No. Enjoy it. So it's I think it's going to be one of those complex games, to be honest. Some people like absolutely love it. I haven't been able to find so far I haven't been able to find the love that other people seem to have with it. I also don't think you can compare Star Citizen and Starfield, not because of not because of all the reasons that you think, but because they're just completely separate games, right? Starfield is an open world RPG, but a single player experience made by a company that has made repeatedly open world single player RPGs on repeat. And this is yet another one of their many open world single player RPGs that pretty much follows the formula of every single one in the past. The difference being in this one, I would say that it's less open, less explory, let's just say the marketing for this was, I don't want to say sham marketing, but like, man, they hyped up the space exploration. Man, they hyped up the spaceship stuff. And you ask pretty much anyone, including people that love the game, the spaceship stuff is crap.
Yeah. So for me, I agree with you. I think it's more like Squadron 42 than Star Citizen, but even then, I think they're completely different games. So
it's Freelancer. It's Freelancer 2. It's Freelancer 2. Put it that way.
What, Freelancer 2? I don't know. I think
remember Freelancer?
I kind of think it's insulting. I think Freelancer does landing better than this does, honestly. So for me, for me, I spend a lot of time in menus when you play Starfield. A lot of quick traveling and stuff like that. The way I explained it to someone, I said, is it's essentially Fallout or Skyrim, but instead of having one map, you've got multiple maps that you're traversing between. And because they've decided to do it in menus, you are basically transversing in menus a lot. It is fundamentally it's just
it's open your map screen, and you don't have to fly. You don't even have to fly. You could just like fast travel with a map.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the way that the game has been done, in my opinion, it's a bit lazy. Like there's a lot of
absolutely
in a lot of like Elder Scrolls games, you walk around nice and slow, open yourself to the atmosphere, read a bunch of stuff, like take your time. In Starfield, I would recommend you don't do that. You run around as quickly as possible, fast travel, because the faster you go, the less you see the flaws.
Yeah.
Honestly,
you know,
I tried to go super slow and enjoy it and soak it all in, and I couldn't bear it.
I thought there was something wrong with I was doing this Running Man mission in one of the games where you have to run really fast, and I somehow hit the caps lock, and I thought I had been damaged or whatever, and it turns out that I was walking the whole time, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And anyway, I figured
the walking speed is so slow.
Oh, it's way slower than the normal. The other thing, I have this absolute pet peeve, because it is, you said it yourself, it's a console port, right? I am absolutely livid.
Oh, it's 100% full console port. Nothing has been done to optimize for PC. Nothing in the menus have been done. And you know what everyone keeps telling me, Execute? Everyone keeps telling me, oh, but the modders, oh, but the modders, oh, but the modders. I paid the money to Bethesda.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't pay the modders.
And have you seen what some of the modders have been doing? There was people charging $5 a month for a DLSS mod. They were charging people for a mod in a subscription fee until someone cracked it and then gave it to everyone for free. But I was going to say, my biggest pet peeve with the controls is the holding of the E key. There is a tap E to target things, and then if you hold it for slightly too long, it gets out of the chair, and you get out of the chair in the middle of combat, and they'll just keep shooting you. It is so frustrating.
Yeah.
So
how many times did you get out the chair?
Every fight. Every fight every time I get smashed, and I'm like, fuck! Like, it's rage-inducing.
No, you actually can't rebind that one. I've tried.
It's rage-inducing. It's the most infuriating thing. They should just make it so it's like, just for combat, they make it so it's like 4 seconds. Like, just when combat hits, if you really want to get out of the chair, you got to hold E for 4 seconds. Because it's just way too light. And look, I know that's how they've given extra buttons to controllers and stuff, but as soon as you put that hold mechanic on PC, and there are other games that do that where there's a press and hold thing, and that's how you know they're a console port, and it just doesn't work. I've got 50,000 key. What's the other game that does it? Recently, Jedi Survivor did it, and it's so frustrating. It's like, I've got a bajillion keys on my keyboard. Just give me another key. Like, how lazy is it to just not allow you to bind keys in a game? Because then if they allowed you to rebind it, you would just have, winning combat or something like that. But I don't know. Sorry, you can tell I'm getting pissed because just thinking about it makes me angry.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Bethesda was purchased by Microsoft, like a record deal.
Do you think they can get a refund?
They were. I mean. No. They'll make their money. They'll make their money with microtransactions and God knows what else. And also, people will be buying Game Pass to play the game. And also in the next, honestly, I think Microsoft is gambling on the next Elder Scrolls and the next Fallout game. To be honest, I think Bethesda had to get this one out the door. I personally think it could have used another few months in the can. Maybe not necessarily for the story. Maybe the story is great. Maybe the characters are great. Maybe the voice acting. But the AI, oh my God, the AI is so bad.
Yep.
The
absolutely. First boss I came up against.
The direct console port to PC, terrible. Like, why not? Like, you're selling it on Steam, for God's sake. Like, it's a different platform completely. It's not console. You should have had further options to manipulate the interface and stuff.
I think that's Microsoft's influence, though.
Really lazy stuff.
They've said prioritize it for the Xbox, right? Where if you've actually look at all the other Skyrims and Fallout and stuff like that, they still had full proper PC control. So at some point, someone at Microsoft said just prioritize this for the Xbox, and then they've just ported it back to the PC, which it's shit. And they knew it was going to sell.
And again, Bethesda's just going to rely on the mod support, right? They're just going to rely on mods.
And they are one of the most lazy companies, I think, out there, in my opinion. Like, they keep pushing this really outdated, dilapidated engine. And I must admit, though, I'll give them credit. It's the best it's ever been, the most bug-free it's ever been. But it's still got bugs. It's still got issues. They have made billions off this engine at this point. Stop kicking a dead horse. Just go out and buy an Unreal Engine 5 license and build the next one on Unreal Engine 5. And take the time to
and the first thing I did, and I've been spending like hours and hours trying to fix the visuals of the game because the visuals of the game, like I don't know what the hell they put this like gunk filter over the top of it, and one of the first mods to be released was like remove the crap on the screen. There's just a lot of decisions that were made that I think stopped me from really investing in the game. There's a lot of stuff in that game that feels really, really old. And you can tell it's all legacy systems, legacy development, legacy designers, legacy developers, and they've just got in that flow. And you know what? For people that like Fallout, for people that like Skyrim, I think you'd be better off playing those games, especially if you hadn't played those already. I would not recommend Sky Citizen or whatever it's called, Starfield as your first Bethesda game. No way.
I've had a lot of people saying it'll be really good for people to get into, but I think it feels like a game from the 90s. It really, really does. You really hit the nail on the head there. It feels like it almost feels like a dice rolling RPG. Like it's like, and I get so infuriated with having to read all the time. Like, I know that sounds...
No, dice rolling RPGs is Baldur's Gate 3, and Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing. In fact, if Baldur's Gate 3 hadn't come out, Starfield would look so much better.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, even the conversations in Starfield would feel so much better. But the fact that this independent or smaller developer has come out and made Baldur's Gate 3, and it's just that good, you're just like, wait a minute, Bethesda. You got how many billion from Microsoft? What are we looking at here?
Did you see
come on, guys.
Did you see the journalists come out and kind of defend the position of all the other publishers? Like, oh, this is an anomaly. Don't expect games this good. You should not expect games this good. Because they're like trying to defend the publishers because publishers have got lazy and all these microtransactions and all this bloated bullshit, and it's just become the standard now. Like. Yeah, and it's not until the government... The thing is, for the longest time, gaming was just this, lawless barren of place. But now it's got so big that governments are stepping in to pull publishers in line that they're literally gambling to kids and shit like that. That's what loot boxes were. They were gambling, right?
Yeah.
And they were pushing it on kids and stuff like that. And it's just... Like even Epic Games with... Fortnite got taken to court over shit like that. Like that's a game made for kids, and they were doing it. It's just wrong. You
know what's a really interesting exercise? If you go back to if you look and you go back to 2013 or 2012, you know, like 10 years ago kind of thing, roughly, and you see the games that were released that year, and you compare that to the games that are released now, and you go, whoa, you know, we're thinking Medal of Honor, we're thinking, you know, some of these just iconic, incredible games.
They did say 25 years in the...
that was released then?
They did say 25 years in the making, so that's why it's never changed, probably. Real quickly, as a side note, Shinobi Trip saying there is now an option to... so this is what he said. No, the hold E for the chair is a separate keybind that you can press E for everything else. Look at the keybind set and look at exit seat -E. So apparently you can set just getting out of the seat to a different key now. So I'm gonna have to look into that.
Okay, so they added that. Okay, good.
Yeah, because
thank goodness. Yeah, that's one thing.
Oh man, it's so
good.
How are you? There were some other weird things like the ship editor. When your mass goes red, I thought you couldn't actually make ships with red mass and stuff like that. And then I discovered last night, and so I've discovered the ship editor, and I stayed in it for 3 hours yesterday, just editing ships. So I'm gonna come up with some really crazy harebrained design and fly that around. I have no doubt. And I just got...
don't get me wrong. There are some in Starfield. There are some amazing technologies. There are some amazing concepts. There's like the ship designer and all that kind of stuff. But I you know, I'm just, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's a bad game at all. I'm just saying that me personally, I haven't been able to get invested in it. I haven't opened it up, and I haven't had like a wow moment. I was really expecting like a bit of a fanfare at the beginning when you come to the first city, you know, but it just kind of, for me, it just kind of like went meh. And apparently everyone is playing the side quests and loving them. So apparently the way to go is side quests.
Yeah, and I will say that the main story with most of the Bethesda RPGs is just meh. And it really is usually the side quests. So I can tell you right now, some of the side quests in the Fallout series and the Skyrim series are the best ones. And I will agree, the few that I have played in this. So I played this one where essentially you become the Mantis. And the Mantis is essentially Starfield's version of Batman. And at the end of it, I got a ship. I got a ship.
Spoiler.
All I said is I got a ship. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens, but basically you take on the mantle of the Mantis, and when you turn up in this ship, people get scared and they run because you've got a reputation.
Oh, that's cool.
And it turns out the Mantis is like Batman. It's like a mantle that's passed down from people to people. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Nice.
It's very and they do that a lot in Bethesda games. They take something and they run with it. You know, like and copy something from real life or something like that, and things like that. And you know, there's another mission I did the other day where I actually go back to Earth, and you start to find out what happened to Earth, like why we left Earth and all that type of stuff. I won't spoil that for you. It's actually kind of cool, and it does lead into the main storyline as well. So I definitely don't want to spoil that. And a lot of streamers have only been doing side quests because then it doesn't spoil the main story. I know Dr. Disrespect was one of them. He was just doing side quests. But some of the best missions are side quests, and you stumble on some of the best gear, the best ships, and it was the same thing in Skyrim and Fallout. You can get one of the missions you could do early on actually gave you one of those armored suits. You know, so one of the side quests I did in Starfield gave me a minigun. I've never even seen another minigun, and it came out of a quest. And Morphologist happened to do the same quest because he also has the minigun. So, but yeah, there's so side quest is where it is at. If you want to get the cool gear, and I think that's
I'm hoping to put some more time into it. My first, you know, for all the complaining I'm doing about Starfield, I did end up playing for about 12 or 13 or 14 hours or something the first time I played it. So, but I mean, a lot of it I was kind of laughing at the game sometimes, but But I feel like if I do get involved in a story or something, I will, it will grow on me. Yeah. I think it's a grower, guys. It's a grower.
Growing on the shore, right? The thing I was going to say, I think you really did nail it on the head with what you said, though. That is the thing. Like, the game looks worse because of Baldur's Gate. It really does. And the more I run that by my little brain, the more it it makes sense to me. And the industry doesn't like being held to account. They don't like being embarrassed. And I think it does really embarrass Bethesda to show that this other company that's come along with far less and done far, far more and given far more and wanted not as much in return. And now there are people absolutely clamoring for more of this. They want an expansion pack. They want the works. And I think I would be interested to look at the stats of people that have brought both, and they've kind of looked at Starfield and then gone back to Baldur's Gate. Because I reckon it would be larger than we think. They've gone, I just can't play Starfield.
I'll be doing that.
Yeah, I can't play.
For sure.
Well, put it this way. I can tell you right now, there's a guy in Australia that's a fairly big YouTuber called SkillUp. He hasn't even played Starfield because he's still playing Baldur's Gate. He's just kicked Starfield. He's got and he's got to play Cyberpunk this month as well. So he's playing that first before he even plays Starfield. That tells you how little he's interested in Starfield. He's just gonna go. He's playing Baldur's Gate, then and Cyberpunk's not out for another like 20 days or whatever, 18 days. So yeah, just I find that hilarious. So he obviously knows Starfield is dated, so he's obviously looked at it before or whatever. So yeah. Hey, what about that?
Well, I mean, people paid $125 for like a 6-day early access or whatever.
Yeah,
I refunded my early access. Actually, as soon as I realized that people were getting to play it even earlier than I was, and I just refunded it. I was like, nope, that's not cool. It's early access for everyone or no one.
Yeah, I used to run an internet cafe for a while, so I'm really good at getting cheap CD keys. So I actually got my CD key where I could essentially get the premium for the same price as I could get the standard. So I just got the premium because then I also got the DLC and other things. But yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. If I could have refunded, if I could have refunded the game, I would have done. I'm not happy with how it is for its price. So yeah, should we what?
Let's hope it gets better. Let's hope it gets better in time, like all video games nowadays.
Let's rely on the modders to fix it. Yeah, and believe it, what you said.
Let's get the modders.
The sheer number of people that said that to me disgusts me. The fact that the community has to fix their game and they get paid for it, that just promotes them being lazy. It's just sad.
I'm actually having more fun. It's like a mini game. It's a modding mini game because I'm actually having more fun modding the game
than playing
in the hopes that I will make the game that they should have made. You know what I mean? I'm not modding it thinking, oh, this is fun, this is great. You know, I can't. You know, look at all these mods. I'm modding it, trying desperately. To make a game that I actually want to play.
I've got this crazy idea.
The system is shockingly bad. The inventory is terrible.
How about we? What are they called? Letharian Studios? Or I don't, because I don't own Baldur's Gate. But what I'm trying to say is, why don't we just get them to make a space-themed Baldur's Gate, and we'll all play that instead, or go back and play Baldur's Gate.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, if you've got to pick between Starfield and Baldur's Gate, guys, take Baldur's Gate and play that. Speak with your wallets. We should know that as Star citizens by now. So yeah. All right. Do you want to do another question? I'm surprised ISC's not out by now. But actually, you know what we need to do that we haven't done. Actually, because we didn't do this. We didn't do not a tuna.
It's not a tuna.
Yes. Right. So, what is your first question for chat, Mrs. Expat Brat?
Do you want to explain not a tuna to them first?
They know what it is.
Or is it just do the question first?
They have been here before.
Oh, they know what it is.
So not a tuna is a ship giveaway. We do a round robin of 3 winners, and then the final person gets to pick a window and they win a prize. So basically, you'll have to answer a trivia question. And then one last trivia question to go down from 3 people to 1. But so we're going to find 3 winners. So the first winner will be, if they get this question right, what will it be? Yeah, they know. Everyone's going, yeah, we know. We know this crazy bullshit. Yes. This is going to be one of the last times we do it, by the way, because I'm finding it a bit too crazy. So yeah. If I go back up.
I'm trying to find my questions. Oh my god. No, don't open your chat on screen or whatever.
Yep. Right, yeah, sorry. Hang on 2 secs. I'm just moving us to a different channel because Agrid was saying we weren't in recording. That's all good. So in case someone comes and joins us and starts talking, I just moved rooms. Sorry about that. Right, and I've reshared it for you. Expat posted her questions to me yesterday, so she's trying to find them. Back up here.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them.
Trying
to find them.
Man, we talk too much.
Oh my God.
That's all I can say. We talk too much.
They're lost. They're lost.
Yeah.
Too much talk about Starfield.
Yes, we talked a lot about Starfield yesterday. Oh yeah, here we go. The one about Newt. Remember you talked about Newt?
No, what's the one before? You literally you said no, but you did.
I did. You have to make another one now.
That's the. Oh God!
I ruined it for us.
You said the answer to the question.
I'm sorry. Well, I found it. Well, sorry. All right. Well, well, you can do the one I said though. You know the one I said about the. So I'll do the first one, right, to help, because so in the movie, in the Colonial Marines, they discover a human girl. What is her name was the original question, and the answer is Newt. And I'm going to modify that. Yes. What is Newt's famous line from the movie? Go. Everyone's preemptively saying alien. Yep, there we go. Morbid Mind got it. They mostly come at night. Mostly, he got it.
Nice.
Morbid Mind.
Okay, I found them.
Oh, you found them? Cool. All right. Well, you only need one.
I found the question.
Yeah. Well, they'll be there. They'll be there for next time. So, Morbid Mind is our first, and we'll ask another one. We probably need to do another one very shortly. So we'll just have a little bit of a break, and then we'll do another one. But yeah, if you want to,
we'll ask another one. Okay. I'll keep that.
Yep. Have that ready to go.
Do you want to do another question now?
No. We usually do them about every hour or every half an hour, so we'll just space it out a little bit.
Okay, cool.
But we should have done one probably
sweet.
earlier.
Okay, so we. Oh, okay, fair enough. So should I go back to the questions?
Please.
The questions over here.
Please.
You can see.
Please.
All right. So, question: Expat Brat, are you looking forward to Scarlet Apex? Yes. If you have not already signed up for Scarlet Apex, or well, just sign up for Scarlet. We should put a link in chat. There should be a link in chat. I believe Algorid is helping organize that even.
Yeah, Algorid will put a link in chat.
You should definitely be signing up for that, guys.
Yeah. Are you going to be doing anything?
If you haven't already signed up, you got to sign up now.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing that, and then I palmed it off to you instead. So you're doing that now.
Oh. No, well, I'm gonna be in a ship for that one, and I might be doing also like some hosting or something. We still got to work out all the details, but it's definitely going to be a good time. And you should go to the Scarlet Apex website, because you're going to shoot distortions into somebody's butt while flying around Miner's Lament, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say who's going to be there, but people are going to be there. Good people.
I got the worst visual of a distortion strap on. That's all I'm going to say. The way you said that. Anyway, right.
Oh my God.
That was the visual that went straight into my head. You're going to shoot somebody in the butt with your distortion. And I was like, what? Anyway, I would never look at your character the same way again as I've got in my head right now. But anyway, that's awful. Oh dear. All right. No, but
Riddick, question.
What's the change of subject in a million miles? No, but seriously, Scarlet Apex, I am very looking forward to that. I think it'll be a really different spin on the racing genre, and we've needed some combat races for a while. I'm surprised no one did like a destruction derby with the mules or anything like that. I'm just really surprised some of the things that haven't popped up, and I also think with the new Arena Commander with the tank modes, I think that's going to take off a bit as well. So we'll see. All right, sorry, next question.
Oh, hey, PC. Hey, Riot in the chat. Hi. Right, so let's have a look here. We've got Riddick asks a question. What new planet tech do you believe could show during CitizenCon? Example, roads, new height limits, and mountains, etc. Well, we know what's coming at CitizenCon because Chris Roberts told us.
He did?
Well, actually, he told a bunch of people from Shanghai.
Yeah.
They're going to be showing Squadron 42, and they're going to be showing
Server Mission.
server meshing. Yeah, so supposedly.
Yeah.
Are they going to be showing other tech? Well, they've got 2 days, so I'm guessing there's going to be an awful lot of small itty bitty here and there, all over the engine, all over the place, all over the, you know. I think there's going to be a lot of various tech and everything, and a lot of filler up until the point that, you know, Chris Roberts comes up on stage and says, "Guys, we've got it working, guys. Look at this." and then basically they tap into a private server. They tap into a private server that they've paid for, that's on site, like in the back, that is practically on fire. You know, you just see smoke coming out of the back from Chris Roberts, and you think, oh, that's really cool. They've got like special effects smoke. No, that's the servers that are kicking off behind him. He's like, we're gonna show you server meshing, and then server meshing comes on, and everyone goes, "Wah!" And there's a Kraken, and there's a whole thing going on, and they're probably gonna have a bunch of PCs all lined up that you can all do like a little LAN party or something, or all play Squadron 42, or go into a booth and somebody whispers into your
You know what would be really cool?
Buy an 890.
That I haven't thought of is if we actually get the vertical slice. So years ago they said we will get like the first level or something like that of Squadron 42, and it would be a demo level that we could play before the full game comes out. So wouldn't that be really cool at CitizenCon this year if we got that single level vertical slice that we could all play? So for Christmas we get a level to play, and then, you know, 12 months later we get the full game type of thing. That would be really cool.
No.
You don't think that's cool if we got a vertical slice?
I don't want. You know what? Squadron 42 is a single player experience that probably only lasts about 4 to 5 hours. Maybe.
It's
100% relies.
It's 70 hours, and that was before it was Pupil to Planet.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
The script for it was 600 pages long, and that was before Pupil to Planet.
Well, so it's 10 hours long, guys. Maybe at a push.
No, it's not. I guarantee you, it's long. The other thing that you need to know is if you played Wing Commander, yeah, you played Wing Commander.
Yeah.
So if Starfield is that
open, there's a lot of
open
cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah, so if Starfield's like an open world RPG, this is more of a more linear, but like a choose your own adventure book, where you can replay it a couple of times, and it's not going to be you're not going to replay it all the time like you can. I know people that all they do is play Bethesda games like Skyrim and Fallout and now Starfield, and they just play it over and over and over because it's always different. This is going to be the type of thing where you'll play it now, and then just before number 2 comes out, you'll probably play it again, but then choose all different options, you know, so you might fall in love with this person, and next time you fall in love with this, so it pisses the first person off and things like that. So you know, it's got multiple choices, but still, and you can play it slightly different.
We'll see what happens with the Is it actually multiple choice and stuff like that, and different story endings and stuff? Really?
Probably not a different ending.
Is it really?
Maybe the start and the beginning are the same, but there are. The thing that changes is the social interactions, and you know, you might become a preference with this wingman, and then, you know, and piss this other person off and things like that. So there are different story beats, and stuff like that. It's a choose your own adventure. If you've ever
so the main issue I've got, right? The main issue I've got is that we are let's say this community, the people in the chat, the people watching this later, are likely the ones that are excited about the launch of Squadron 42. But I'm telling you now, the exciting thing about the launch of Squadron 42 is the fact that you've never seen it, you've never seen the story, you haven't seen those big action moments, you didn't get it spoiled, you in my opinion, you're going to want to go into it completely like open. Like, I would rather play a working, this is tested version of Squadron 42 that I have a great experience from start to finish, than getting piecemeal levels released and everything, and eventually we're testing. I'm not gonna beta test Squadron 42.
So
I'm not gonna do it.
So what
I'm gonna completely ignore it.
What they showed us in
I want the final thing.
What they showed us in the vertical slice was actually apparently a side mission. So it's not a mission that's integral to the plot, and it's just a side mission that you can do to show you what a sample of a mission could be. right? And I have no doubt that's probably what we'll get again. So so it gives a taste of what the game is going to be like, enough to go, ooh, that's delicious. Can I have some more, please? And hype you up for, well, put it this way. When's the last time you got a demo for a game? They don't do that anymore. Demos take time and effort, but demos are one of the best things to sell a game.
We get early access. We get a broken game release.
Exactly. Yeah. So if they actually come out and it's got if it actually comes out and there's a demo, so to speak, that vertical slice that people can play, that'll drive sales like crazy, because you just don't see that anymore, because it takes so much extra effort to do so. Right? And if people can try that for free, this scam citizen that's been, this game's shit, it's a pipe dream. It comes out and it just shuts all the critics up in a foul swoop. Because they can't, if it's really that good and they can't rebuttal it.
They just ruin it with marketing and all this kind of stuff. Like, keep the good stuff secret. Don't show too much. Don't come out and promise too much. Just deliver something that works and is solid, because this is literally, this is their one chance. To make a first impression. They only have one chance to make a first impression, and it has to be a good one. Yeah. It has to be. Or else the whole future gets thrown in the bin.
All right, I got a good segue that you just gave. Going back to the stuff about Shanghai, you actually brought something up on stream that I hadn't, because I haven't gone out and watched that Shanghai stuff. I normally do, but I didn't want to sit through an hour and a half of Chinese. So I wanted to Noobify needed to do a synopsis of that video for me. But long story short, Sandy came out and said,
do you want me to just say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, chat. And everyone watching.
Yeah. What?
Coming next year, 2024, summer. Squadron 42, released on Xbox, PlayStation 5, and PC.
Yep. Because
I'm saying it now.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's going to be, because they said Star Citizen's never coming to console, right? Fair enough, big servers and all that.
Nope.
But I've never heard them say anything about Squadron 42. And Sandy literally on the stream from Shanghai said, "What are you guys looking forward to playing it on, PC or console?" What the actual fuck? After not really. We knew this was coming.
Chris Roberts' face.
Yeah.
Chris Roberts' face is like, he's sitting next to her on the stage. He's like,
what the fuck?
Sandy, what you said? Sandy.
Yeah, more like
she's gone off.
Yeah. So yeah, she kind of tipped her hat a bit, but I think you're at what you're saying there, because you said that thing about Squadron 42 as well. So yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. Yeah. I think we are going to see it next year for console as well. And let's be honest, it's so much money that they can't turn that down, and they haven't technically lied to us.
And they want that Bethesda money.
Yeah, they do.
Want that Bethesda money.
And all the money they spend on the stars. Let's be honest, there's over 30 plus film stars in this game. That is a massive draw card. And let's be honest, if it pulls people in and they really like Star Citizen, they'll go buy a fucking PC to play Star Citizen,
And if it's got a lot of cinematics and stuff, then it's going to be good couch gaming, It's like, it's like an interactive film. But one thing somebody asked me in the chat the other day, they were like, why do you think what the hell is going on with Squadron 42 and all this kind of stuff? I think it was somebody trying to troll Soul Citizen. Yeah. And I was being defending them in chat. I was trying to keep this person occupied, basically.
Yeah.
But basically they asked, they took down Squadron 42's website and all this kind of stuff. Look, the reality is they're going to come up with a brand new website. It's going to have all the new marketing and everything they need for marketing it to everybody other than people that play Star Citizen. It's going to have a bunch of deluxe edition, special editions. Yep. Ultra shiny super edition, box edition. Yep. They might have a watch or a model or a collector's edition, something, and it's just going to be a whole other way of making more money to fund the marketing.
Just a sec. Do you know that they actually kind of sold editions of the games in the past? So there, you were talking about collector's editions and stuff. They have small models. They even have USB spaced or shaped constellation. The constellation of the ship.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm actually hoping the game comes on a USB stick that is the Constellation, and they had a silver and green box back in the day that was metal. So I have no doubt that they'll probably sell those as collector's editions again. And I have one of the rare silver ones with LTI. So yeah.
So one of the things I was thinking as well is that they're probably going to have to change a lot of their. They might not a lot, but they might have to do stuff to comply with EULA and all this kind of stuff for the Xbox Game Store and the PlayStation Store. So I don't think they can do the same funding thing as they're doing for Star Citizen. So I think they're probably separating all that and separating it from the store.
That's why they did. That's why
with a lot of the legal stuff.
That's why they separated it years ago, because they knew they were going to have to do that. The other thing I wanted to say real quick was every game that Chris Roberts has ever made has come to console. Every single one he's ever made.
Okay.
And they said in the past they wouldn't, and they ended up coming anyway. So I have no doubt at some point Star Citizen will, but if you think of the tech, how it works on Amazon servers, how do you convert that over to work on PlayStation and Xbox?
Yeah.
You would have to work with PlayStation and Xbox, and someone would have to port that over. And obviously it hasn't been built yet. Right?
Well,
because Star Citizen hasn't been built.
You can tell by Starfield that games are easier to port to PC than ever. I mean, they literally just copy-paste it.
Yep.
So,
well, they're all built on PCs, aren't
hopefully
they?
it's the same.
You don't build you don't build games on Xbox or
back.
you don't build games on Xbox or PlayStation. You build them on a PC to work on an Xbox or a PlayStation. And let's be honest, consoles are becoming more PC-like than ever. Every generation they get closer and closer to a PC. We've got diskless consoles now.
Well, the internal of the Xbox is basically a 2080. It's like a 2080 Ti or something.
And the actual operating system is a modified version of Windows to work on Xbox.
Yep, exactly. So ISC is out apparently.
It is indeed. Do you want to go watch? Should we go watch?
Sure. Let's take a look at it.
Real quick.
Maybe I'll bring it up on another monitor. 1 second.
I'm gonna show this real quick, just because it's something I've been indulging, and I did show you briefly before the show. But I've been watching Adam Savage's Tested. He's actually been building a model of the ships from Starfield. So if you like Starfield at all, I really like watching people build things. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. So if you like Starfield and you like models, there's a good little video series on Adam Savage's Tested. Not that he needs the views with 6.3 million subscribers, but yeah. All right. So they say the ISC is out. Let's go.
All right. So
on racing. Another racing one. That's all right. Hey, look. I bet you that's the Fury LX.
Another racing one.
Yeah, that's got to be the Fury LX. What do you reckon?
Oh yeah, it probably will be.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to try and change this over, but I've been having this trouble. As you know, Expat, I can't get the sound to work. So, Expat, I'm going to let you start watching it first. And
yeah, so I've got it.
Well, I won't.
I'll try and follow along. It's okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Well, I'll do my best.
I'll push the play button now.
Yep. Okay.
I'm on the Star Citizen logo.
All right. I've hit play as well. Here we go.
So I've just always liked racing since I was a kid. I think I was like 5 or 6 years old and sat down watching TV. I was watching monster truck racing, and then it grew to a love of touring cars, Formula One. So I basically travel the country in the UK and I take pictures of cars, and that's something I've been doing for about 4 or 5 years now. I mean, it's gone from a hobby to sort of semi-professional level now, which is really cool. Here I am, 40 years old, and I still live it today.
Oh, he's good,
Racing is far more than just maybe motorsport.
So he's the guy that made the Fury, the younger guy?
Here he is, Fury Boy himself.
It's a chance for people.
That should be his nickname, like Fury as his middle name.
Practice how much time, how much effort they've put into a sport.
Fury Boy!
Racing has an incredible ability to bring people together, I think.
I'm a pretty competitive person, and so the ability to kind of challenge people, no matter who you are or where you come from, it's a level playing field once you're out on a track.
It's about pushing things to the limit, both in terms of the machine and the car, and then it's about the drivers or the riders pushing themselves to the limit within that machine.
My favorite thing about racing in Star Citizen is just the skill.
It is a pure use case of how you use our ships to their maximum performance. You have to know them to get everything out of them.
You use ships that aren't necessarily used for practical reasons.
You can race cutters, you can race M50s, you can race Furies, you can race whole A's, you can race whatever you like. And as long as everybody's on a level playing field, it always comes down to skill.
Am I good at racing?
I'm just pausing for a second. I'm wondering if we should make something called the Bathtub Cup, and it's just Starfarers. You race. No.
Well, it comes. It's. They said it was skill only, but it also comes down to server performance. But I'm just saying, and networking.
Have you tried to fly a Starfarer though? Those things are really hard. Like one of the ones me and Algrid used to do back in the day. We used to do race Starfarers through the rings of Port Alisar, like do loops, and it was just chaos, like utter chaos. Trying to get Starfarers to drift through the rings of Port Alisar is very hard. Especially when we did it in a figure eight, so you had to go through one, around the middle one, and then through the second one, and then repeat. So it was through.
I think in the Scarlet Apex they also have a large ship category as well. So that's going to be really interesting at Miner's Lament.
Yes, very well. Someone's going to go into an asteroid. You can see that coming, but that's what it's for. You set it up for failure. That's what you want to do with that race. Anyway, all right, here we go again. Start hit in play again.
I'm all right. Yeah, there are people who are better than me. There are a lot of people who are worse than me. But yeah, I'm good.
To compete with other people, to fly from A to B as fast as possible, that's where real competition is coming from.
We had an internal scoreboard for the old Vanderval times. I think I beat the next highest score by 10 seconds. We've got a little competition going inside.
I felt like I really nailed that lap. And this guy's gone 15 seconds quicker than me in the same ship. Like, how is that possible?
What other game with this level of quality can you play and race with 6 degrees of freedom? There isn't.
Okay, so we did 2 minutes 30 of promoting the devs and find out about what they like. Okay.
It's a typical Disco Lando-led production then. That's the, yeah. All right, here we go.
So last week, a whole bunch of us got into a play session in Arena Commander and did a few classic races.
Most of my stuff has been like single-player time trial stuff in Arena Commander or just in the tracks around the PU. So that was the first like big group race that I'd been involved in.
Even though half the people that we did the playtest with, I didn't know, it felt like jumping in with your mates.
Let's see the devs actually playing their game.
There was a moment where we were all like lined up and we did like a countdown and we were all going to drive off and get this cool shot of us flying through a cave.
Let me just get down to this first corner actually, because I want to try and catch some people smashing into this rock. I mean, going so perfectly through that.
You mean you want a good angle of the start, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of anticipation, a lot of kind of banter going back and forth. Everyone was hyping up about how great they'd be. And we said go, and they all left and immediately crashed into the first corner.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me the people that are making the game aren't good at...
I mean, there's a hell of a lot of crashing into walls.
Yeah. Am I meant to be surprised?
Turns out I'm not very good at racing at all, and people who I thought wasn't going to be very good at racing were in fact incredible at racing.
I've
no wonder they get
never
us to
flown
test
into
it.
a wall quite as fast as that.
Here, he's saying it.
Every single time we hit the wall, so yeah.
Where's everyone crashed? I'm not winning.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Dev Splat Cup.
Let's all regroup at the start line again.
People who make the games you'd think would be really good at it.
You would, but they're not.
Yeah, well, maybe we should delete that footage, actually.
We had such a big skill gap between the best and the worst. The guys who film all the great capture footage, they were insane.
I got a bit carried away and started actually racing, which isn't ideal because I need to get footage of other people, but they were all behind me.
I don't remember the name of the player that was winning every race, but it was quite obvious that they were flying with 2 sticks.
Maybe half a lap till the end, Will just comes absolutely tearing past me.
They were just blasting off way ahead of someone like me who literally helped work on the ship. It was kind of funny and a good reminder that just because you make games doesn't mean you're good at them.
Who's that? It's just come under me.
All right, well, at least we now know that they're trying the things that they're putting in the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I do find that funny. I was thinking that myself.
What I've learned.
You know, you make something and then someone else uses it better than you.
I've got a lot of envy for Will and his ability to operate our ships. Like, how can you fly our ship better than us?
Oh, who's the worst racer? Oh, I can't answer that question.
It definitely wasn't me, so that's all right.
I think I smashed into more gates than I've actually been through.
Someone just exploded right next to me.
My favourite ship is the Razor because it looks like a supercar, and when you get into it, when you're flying it round, it has that aesthetic.
The best racing ship for me was probably the Mirror Razor.
I think everybody knows that the Merlin is one of the best racing ships. It's small, it's light, it's got good engines.
I know Josh really likes the Razor, but I need a little bit more maneuverability in my ships. I found it too fast and not maneuverable enough. I know it looks cool, it's very Formula One-y.
I'm not too bothered about top speed, but handling in the corners and then acceleration out of them, I think that helps the way I fly best. As much as I like flying the Fury, I think the Razor still got it for me.
I don't think I really got disappointed by any of our ships. The one that I found the most difficult
Well, yeah, but
to race
that's because you design the ships for how they look first, and then have to cram gameplay on top of them.
That's it.
The 350R, while it's got good acceleration,
It's part of your
and a
design
really
philosophy,
good
so
speed, it drifts a lot. I'm in a 350R, and I'm trying to get myself around a corner while the Fury is coming up behind me.
So they've just said the Fury's the best. The Fury's the best. If you don't have a Fury,
350R can't, and so I'm just having to pick a line and stick to it while the Fury is able to.
I think
buy the Fury, guys.
I think the key takeaway is
Fury's OP.
There are different races for different things. Like if you want to go really fast in a straight line, the best ship is the Herald, and that was in. They had a whole class for that in the Crux Cup. And none of them are using the Herald here. Not a single one is advertising the Herald. There is not a racing variant of the Herald. Which is a really missed opportunity because they could have just made a variant of the Herald, but they never did, you know. And that just showed because a lot of the races I talked to, they've been talking about the Herald. They don't talk about the Razor. They don't talk about the 350R.
Right.
The only one I've heard anyone talk about is the Archimedes. And that they said I think they said Merlin. I don't think they said Archimedes. So yeah, it shows they're just slightly out of touch with what the community's talking about. I could be wrong. I've never heard the 350R ever brought up, and they're talking about it right here. So yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be a racing variant, right? So if it's not working, if the guy's sitting in his 350R thinking he's going to be the racing champion, and it's a bit rubbishy, you know. Well, I guess it's good that he finally. I mean, how long has it been? I guess it's good he finally sat in it and tried it. So
well, hopefully,
you know, hey, I mean, it's
hopefully
positive.
Hopefully they come back and do passes on these ships. Well, they're going to do eventually, but like it'd be nice to see them updated so they're more in line with each other, so they're actually a lot more competitive. Because I'll tell you what, there's also meant to be the Cartoile, and you never see anyone flying the Cartoile as a race variant. Like it is literally got a racing variant called the there's a model for it called the Takashita or something like that. I can't remember, and it's like it's kind of like yellow, white, and gold. And there's a model that you can get that goes in your hangar. But yeah. You never see anyone racing in that because the maneuverability is not there for alien ships yet. So the whole racing structure is going to change again before release. So we'll see.
But again, just a comment on the video. I am actually very happy about how honest they're being.
Yeah.
Like
likewise.
however you might be able to look at this and go, wait a minute. You know, it is good that they're actually being honest with this.
Agreed.
I do commend them for honesty always.
All right.
Dance around me.
The Fury was incredible because with it being really small and really fast and nippy.
In my opinion, it was the LX, and objectively, it was the LX.
Buy the Fury, guys.
That Fury's rapid.
This whole video is just promotion for the LX. It is 100% what this is, and I'm now starting to think if they're promoting the LX already this early, that's the ship we're getting at CitizenCon. I could be wrong, but they're talking about it, so...
No, CitizenCon?
CitizenCon's first, and we know the ship comes with a plushie.
Okay.
How hard it is to make a ball with 4 planks for a plushie. Yeah, pretty easy.
I'm sure it's just the Fury, just the ship. I've actually found nothing to do with driver skill at all.
So once again, for the record, it's not Will's skill, it's the Fury.
No, it's 100% just the Fury, yeah. Nothing to do with Will.
It's 100%. It's 100% the Fury, guys. It's 100%. Buy the Fury, you win races. Just get the Fury.
I do like how they put a Mirai skin on it that looks like the one for the Razor. So they at least match now racing.
Nice pick up there.
Personally,
new skin confirmed?
No, bullshit. No, we knew the Fury was going to be good.
140, what the hell, bro?
Look at the Fury! It did a 112! Oh my god, this thing's fast.
So in Alpha 320, we're introducing the Fury LX.
The Fury LX is the Fury that has been absolutely tooled out for racing. We've removed all of the weapon mounts and replaced them with extra horizontal strafing thrusters. The base Fury's weakest directional thrust was actually strafing. It had a little bit of trouble as it came to sliding around corners, because while the rear main thrusters can gimbal as much as they do, they sometimes struggle to provide like directionally horizontal strafe. So adding the extra thrusters in meant that it now has that little bit of extra push when it comes to correcting itself in those sort of situations.
So the first thing you're going to notice on the LX is definitely
320,
the new wings.
you think?
It's such a...
He said 320. The guy that made the Fury said it's coming in 320. You know, what was his name?
Okay.
Fury Boy?
That's too
Fury
soon
Boy.
for CitizenCon then. Fury Boy.
No, Fury...
It's too soon for CitizenCon
No,
then.
you've got .x patches, darling. So they'll just do a .x patch for 320 for CitizenCon, and then they'll do another .x patch for AIE. And we'll get the
okay.
Yeah, if this is coming in 320, I guarantee you it'll be coming for CitizenCon now. I'll be really surprised if it's not.
No. See, I'm gonna take a gamble on this one, and I'm gonna say that actually, darling.
Well, actually,
they're gonna. I'm gonna make a gamble here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
for
say
it.
that they want more eyes on Star Citizen right now, because everyone's playing Starfield. I think they're gonna release a ship to just kind of get everyone looking at the website again, testing again, going in and racing again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, take all the content creators off of Starfield, stick them back on Star Citizen, because new ship, guys, new ship. I'm just saying.
I don't
strategic.
I don't think the Fury's got the pull to do that. The Fury was the flavor of the month at the time, but you never see him in game anymore. And no offense to people that like racing, but racing bores a lot of people. It does. It just does. I just don't think
you don't think there's going to be a bunch of people coming on to test the Fury, like showing their people. Okay, this is the Fury, guys. This
maybe
is the Fury.
maybe a day or
at least
two.
for one day, right?
Maybe for one day
or two. Yeah.
But
get size back in the game.
This year's been very low-hanging fruit. If you look at what happened at Invictus, we got the Fury and 2 vehicles. This is a low-hanging fruit. It's a variant. We've got 2 Carter variants coming. A lot of the stuff that's coming is vehicles and variants, because it's all hands on deck for Squadron 42. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But this is not going to blow my socks off. I'm not going to look. I'll try it out in game, and I'm sure a lot of other people will try it out in game. But if I've already got my Fury LTI
it's a
token,
low-hanging fruit. But it's a new ship nonetheless.
Well, it'll probably be $5 more expensive, so it's going to be $60, more than the other Furies, because then you can upgrade.
Guns, $60.
Well, yeah, but it's got more engines, and it's a racer, and they charge more for races.
Yeah, and they'll probably make it like you said, like to upgrade from your original Fury, you can upgrade to this.
Wait.
So they get everybody.
There's a extremely high frequency coming from your mic, apparently, for someone. That's right. Hang on. Like, I do realize I forgot to turn this on. So I forgot to turn the noise suppression off. So that's my fault. Oh, wait. The noise suppression is not on anyway. So that, no. Apparently you've got...
A high frequency coming from my mic?
Yeah, that's what someone says. So it's from Ketchup Ninja, who says, some extremely high frequency coming from Pat's mic, driving me and my dog crazy. Anyone else?
Oh, strange.
It's the subliminal messages that she puts to her stream. You just got to.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
No, I don't hear it either. So,
what's your dog's name? Calm down, Goose Frabba. Goose Frabba.
I love that.
It might be like a subtle troll. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Expat makes my dog bark.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Striking design, more akin to the Razor, right?
I absolutely adore the new wings. I think the use of negative space and
pause it. I get it. Because I'm whining. Chat, do you get it? Okay, never mind. Go. Yeah.
Like an F1 wing is some of the nicest racing stuff we've done. It very closely mirrors a lot of the looks in the Razor, which I think is absolutely wonderful in a racing ship like this.
And if you look past the livery, you'll see tons of intricate details, tons of vents, even air brakes, which would be great to work eventually.
See, air brakes are a thing, Badgers! You son of a bitch. They, I said one of the tanks looks like it has air brakes, and they said their air brakes are not a thing. And he literally just said air brakes. So now, air brakes are official in the Star Citizen community. Official law. There we go, anyway.
When atmospheric flight and surface controls get brought into the game. What's really cool as well is, from a third-person perspective, you'll obviously see those 4 thrusters doing their magic again, but they have these really cool light bars along the kind of rear spoilers, and they look really impressive, especially at nighttime. If you're going to take something as key from the design away as like the weapons, right, you need to put something cool in its place. And I think the introduction of that extra mav, and then it's got so many like aerofoils and different things going on at the front, which
it does look
just makes it look like it cuts through the air, and it really does. So in the playtest, it definitely performed really well. It was really...
So the interesting thing, though, is that if all 4 of those wings are exactly the same, he really actually just modeled 1 wing and then duplicated it 4 times. So I just want to... Like, it looks like they've done a lot of extra work, but you can cheat when you make stuff, so we'll see.
Interesting to see the differences between like the base Fury and that, and then comparing it to obviously to the Razor. It performed as you'd expect.
It does fly a lot better. You can tell just looking at that.
Flashy, and there was nothing quite as cool as, like, for me particularly, being one of the people who worked on the Furies, was sitting in the base Fury driving along and then having an LX fly past me upside down, spinning by someone who was obviously much better at the game than I am.
So the Fury LX is absolutely for the racer who wants maneuverability over all else. With its gimbling thrusters, with its extra horizontal thrusters, it will easily outmaneuver pretty much anything else out there.
Use the extra space to put a quantum on it.
Oh, you know what? We forgot to mention Alex again.
He died.
What?
Did he just say what I think he said?
Who died?
Was the joke he died?
Yeah, I don't get it. But
the joke was he died.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh. Okay.
God. God's sake.
How morbid.
Carry on.
For 320, we've got some really exciting
he's dead. Don't worry about him, chat.
We've got a brand new TIE model, and this is based on the Pajaka model. It allows us to create a lot more kind of fidelity within the physics for the ground vehicles. So we've got a curve of forces that allow us to control how the vehicles feel and basically how much grip they have when you're trying to turn a corner in these vehicles. So it gives us a lot more fidelity, a lot of control, and this has allowed us to remove a lot of the old arcade mechanics that the old ground vehicles had, which kind of restricted their movement, which is why they felt quite floaty before. So we've taken a lot of those restrictions out of the system. So now when you do a big jump, you'll feel the weight of the car as the nose dives, or if you jump off a ramp or a rock or something, it'll feel like a lot more weighty and a lot more realistic. And also it's going to allow the different vehicles to perform very differently as well. So, you know, we've got a big Cyclone buggy, which is really quick and really agile, and it's got loads of power, so you can do drifts in it. We've got a little PTV buggy, a little STV, and these are going to feel more agile. It's really going to allow the players to kind of pick the vehicle which kind of suits them. So we're going to carry on to improve the physics, basically fine-tune the handling within.
I wish they would actually. Sorry, can you pause it for 1 second?
Yep.
I wish they would actually take into account like what the vehicle's driving on, right?
Yeah,
so
I think that
tires detect that they're on sand.
I think they showed that a little bit because
so.
the wheels were popping up and down a lot more individually, and the car was rocking a lot more. It'll come. I don't know.
Yeah, but like an STV on sand versus a Cyclone on sand, there should be a marked difference.
Yeah,
right?
agreed. I think that'll come.
The wheels should detect what they're on. You know, surface tension and stuff.
You got to walk before you can run, so I think we just got to get them working decently and then start destroying them again and making them worse. But yeah, I think you will eventually. I think it'll be in snow too.
Oops.
You know, so some cars will just get completely bogged in snow or sand. And I think that needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
So there's certain vehicles that can go everywhere, and then there are other vehicles, well, like a hover vehicle, that's got a massive advantage, but it's got to probably be lighter, and you can't have an enclosed cab, so it can't go into a toxic environment that some others have. You'll notice how there's no real hover vehicle that has a fully enclosed cab. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Well, well, they haven't even talked about hover vehicles. Are they going to show the Ranger? Where's the Ranger, guys? Come on.
But also, we're going to convert the ground vehicles to use the power system that...
Actually, you mentioned the Ranger. That's probably why this is getting a rework, because it probably ties into that Ranger, believe it or not. Now I think about it. Makes a lot of sense if you do the math.
Well, let's see.
Let's hope you're right.
Let's see.
It's used on the ships, is that citizen. So that's probably going to be the next big step for these vehicles. You know, they use power properly, they use fuel, and that's going to be a big change.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that racing is deep in the hearts and minds of many a Star Citizen developer. That it's a fantastic way to test your mettle against others in the least destructive way possible. Alex trying to drag race in a Herald notwithstanding. And that Mirai has a fast new variant of the Fury on its way in the upcoming Alpha 320. And, well, I'd be remiss in mentioning that while we did film this just a few days ago, the winner of this year's Ship Showdown should be crowned right about when this airs. And, if we ended up with 2 Drake ships against one another in the finals, as somebody hopes, John Crew has to legally post a video declaring his love for all things Drake. So I really hope you cast your votes accordingly. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game.
All right, everyone go to Twitter.
Sharing the process of game development with you.
At John Crew. Where's my Drake love, bitch? Just on Twitter. I'm going to go do that after the show.
Game development with you. And we'll see you all here next week.
Thank you for sharing the love of game development. You're welcome. I shared my wallet.
Doesn't look like there's any cringe this week. Oh, good. Right. Yeah, we call his bad jokes at the
cringe.
end.
Keep going. Keep going.
Right, I'll keep going, but I don't think there is. I think he's learned that they're super cringy. And a couple of seconds. No, there's nothing.
He's got.
It's all black screen.
Not a single frame. Not a single frame.
No
wow.
cringe. No cringe. It's like he's learning. Right. Oh dear. All right. No, I don't know. Not my sort of humor, but yeah, like being a former comedian myself at one point. Yeah, I learned that all humor is not for all people.
Well, I can tell you're a former comedian.
Yeah, well, I
see why you gave it up.
So I'm not as funny when I'm medicated. So put it that way. I'm medicated now. It takes the funny away. So I was really eccentric and stuff like that. So yeah, I was a good comedian, but I gave it up because I was traveling all the time, and it didn't work with my bipolar because it was around a lot of people, then isolated, around a lot of people, then isolated. So it wasn't good for my mental health. So that's why I ended up giving it away, and I took up YouTube.
Star Citizen's good for mental health?
Yes.
You heard it here, guys.
Lunamario Algrid's moved on, so he may or may not have seen your message, so I don't know. But yeah, thank you for getting in contact with him. I appreciate it. I don't know. How did you feel about that ISC? Like, we knew the Fury LX was coming for a while. That's kind of what I really took out of it. We got to see the Fury LX in that episode. The vehicle stuff we'd heard about before. It was kind of cool to see the developers playing their own game, though, as you said. It was I don't know, that wasn't a nothing burger, but it was pretty light, yeah?
Well,
you got somewhere you're going to be. Your character keeps looking at their watch.
Buy a Fury MX, buy a Fury MX. Fine. If I was really into racing, I would be down for it. But yeah, it's a bit of filler. It's a bit of filler before SitCon. I wonder how much more is going to be filler before SitCon.
It's all filler
but
until SitCon.
Yeah, nice to see them. Yeah. Nice to see them play their game. And I think it's kind of funny when they do play the game and realize, like, okay, all these ships, the game balancing, right? Are we gonna? It's probably a good time to bring us on to game balancing, right? At some point.
So we've got about
because yeah, it's
40 days to CitizenCon, by the way, just a roughly around that area, about 40 days. But yeah,
40 days.
We're definitely in filler territory. Also, they will be taking 3 weeks off soon. I don't know when that is, but it is soon. And it goes dead quiet just before. So if we've got 40 days and there's 3 weeks off, you do the math, it's real soon that we'll be getting those 3 weeks off. Because it's roughly, 21 days for 3 weeks. So, yeah, so basically from essentially the end of September, they'll be taking a break off. Because it's I think CitizenCon's on the 21st or something like that. So yeah, it's a later CitizenCon this year too, because normally it's on the 10th or around that time. It's usually the first in the first weekend of October, and they've pushed it's now a little back. So there must have been another event on at LA.
So I can't help but thinking, right? So the devs are sitting there having a fun gaming session and racing and checking some racing ships or whatever. Maybe they spent like a morning, like it's a fun morning activity, you know, morning coffee, do some gaming, a little bit of a teamwork exercise, team building exercise with a motive. But I mean, wouldn't that time also, not to say that they shouldn't also race, but why did they not have some of the top racing community people in there as well? And then maybe have like a roundtable discussion.
That would have been good,
know?
but time, because you've got to organise people. I know that from what I do. Getting people together is a nightmare. Yeah, and then the devs might
like it's cool seeing them race, and it's a fun thing for a video. But like, it would have been kind of nice to see, like a voice chat, and you see like all these screens on, and it's all the devs, and then you see racing people, you see eco, you see everyone from the racing community all up there, and then like the first thing that the one guy says is, okay guys, I know you're excited, I know you're speaking to the devs directly, but let's be as honest as possible.
Yeah.
Right. What do we need to be doing here?
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's difficult because then I've just seen it before. People start to ask awkward questions of devs and things like that. I think that's why they try to preempt that. Also, you can't make devs spend their free time in things, so they probably were paid to make that video. Believe it or not, like they had to do it within work hours. So yeah, it's a bit different. So yeah, I do think the Fury was very much pitched as it is now the best racing ship, which is what happens every time a racing ship comes out. It's the new best racing ship.
I mean, they did say it 20 times, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could assume that.
Yeah. But again, remember, it was their devs that were playing their own game that are not good racers saying it was the best racing ship. So,
they're not good racers, yeah.
And they did talk. They did talk about several ships that I know people don't use. Like they didn't even talk about the Herald. I can't believe there's not a racing skin for the Herald yet. Well, there's no skins for the Herald. As far as I'm aware, there's no skins for the Herald anyway. I'll have to go double check. I haven't looked at that in a while. We need to do Not a Tuner again because we should have done it earlier and I forgot. It's been another hour, so we're gonna have to click it over. Do you have another question for people?
I've got my question.
Right, go for it.
Okay, chat. This might be a tough one. Okay. The director of the film Moon has a famous father. What was his father's name? The director of the film Moon.
I know.
A famous father.
I know it, but that's because I can see the answer.
What was his father's name?
Ooh. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Luxury got it.
I mean, are we giving PC? Are we giving? Well, yeah. I think Wixry has to take it.
Yeah, Luxury.
I can't spiel.
Yep. I can't.
But PC knew it too. PC knew it too.
Where did he type it? Oh.
Well, he put buoy.
Oh, no. Official answers only.
I don't think you get it.
No spam answers. Yeah, you got to do the proper one. That's a nickname. So Wux try 2377. All right, cool. All right, come on, YouTube, up your game. That's 2 Twitch people. We want at least 1 YouTube person in there for the final one. We'll do another one in we have to do it fairly quick succession. We'll do a second one right now. Yeah, stop it. We'll do a second one right now, and it's just YouTube for this one. We'll do. Should we? Yeah, we'll make it YouTube because we've got 2 Twitches. We'll share it around. All right, so just YouTube is on this one. Last question. So Twitch, you're out. You got 2 people, so don't be greedy. YouTube. Well, 1 person from YouTube. All right, you got another question for us?
Okay, I'm gonna ask a question based on things we've said in the episode so far.
Oh,
okay. What game was I playing when I first started streaming?
Oh,
I mentioned it earlier.
Oh, Hot Tub Mania.
Was listening.
Hot Tub Mania. No, oh, okay, right. Yeah. We're joking about during the week.
He's still on about that purple logo.
No, we were joking during the week about you doing a hot tub stream. Remember, and in the Phoenix. That's why I said that. Oh, there we go. Yep, people are saying it on Twitch, but we're not counting Twitch this time. Otherwise, you would have won. Wait for it. Anyone?
Very
on
good.
YouTube?
Very good.
Yep. Twitch is winning. Twitch has got the answer.
Twitch is winning.
But wait. I think
Twitch is all over it.
Digby Smollett. I'm going to give it to. As I said, we don't do abbreviations.
Digby, well done, Digby.
Yep. So Digby takes the cake on that. Eddie did say.
He did SOT.
He did SOT, but he didn't do Sea of Thieves. As I said, it's about the details.
No, SOT is good. SOT is good. No. If you're a Sea of Thieves player, you say SOT. You don't say Sea of Thieves.
I'll give it
well done.
Yep.
Well done. Hardcore.
I'm about details, but yeah, you're calling it, so that's fine. All right, Eddie, it is. Sorry, Digby, I wanted to give it to you. I've been overruled, and I have learned a long time ago you do not argue with women because they are always correct, especially when they're wrong. Yes, right.
My God, chat.
I learned that from my mum. Yeah.
Hey, I've got power now. Hey, just give me power.
Hell have no fury. Hell have no fury like a woman scorned. Oof. Oh boy. So my mum had all boys, and we were all scared of her. Let's just put it that way. Because
Chad, he's letting me know I have power now. Yes. He has mum issues.
My mum watches the show. She's probably going to be watching this.
You haven't drank enough. Keep.
It's just water.
You need to be drinking water. You need to be drinking more water.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
Right, no, but my mum watches this show.
So should we do more questions?
Please. No.
Do we run the raffle?
No. Back to questions now. So the last time we come back to do that.
Okay.
I went to the wrong one. Maybe it's not water that I'm drinking.
Okay, there's a ton of questions. Okay, I'm gonna.
Yep.
We're gonna have to quick fire.
We've got an hour left. We've got an hour left. Just take your time. If we don't make it, we don't make it.
No, but.
That's fine.
Okay. But I feel bad.
Yeah, okay. You can feel bad, but we're not gonna rush them. It's fine. Just go.
Okay. I'm not gonna say the name then. I'm not gonna say the name.
Say the name. Say the name. No. It's polite to say the name. So say the name. Okay. Yeah, I like to say the name.
It is polite. Axis 0096.
Yep.
Do you think, with all the variant things being announced, that the Titan suits will get the same treatment? Yes.
Yeah,
any excuse for them to have more variations means excuse to sell packs of things.
Yep.
They want you to buy packs of things. They will have variants.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's a cynical answer, but also it is needed. So you need a mining variant. You need there'll be variants.
We also think there's going to be different
from Voodoo Child.
Hang on. We also think there's going to be different tech levels as well. So you might get like that run on different. So you might get one that works on fuel and it has a lot of fumes and it's more. Think of like a Drake versus a high tech one. So you might have a high tech one that runs on batteries or electricity, and you might have a low tech one that works, like has cogs and gears and it runs on fuel. So yeah, we'll think about it. If you see how they've done the different, they've got hand trolleys. But they've also got drones that load and forklifts and stuff like that. There's lots of different things for loading and unloading. So eventually there'll be different levels.
I would like to race a hand trolley. I'm just saying.
Yes, we can do that one day.
By the way, I'm going to give you more work for your future. But wouldn't it be cool if I could see the questions here on the screen? Like, see next to us, Inforunners, and you got the thing. Is that big space there? Couldn't the questions go there?
Yeah, they could, but we don't have Discord integration because that bot is custom built. But the person that built it is actually looking at expanding it, and even streamers like yourself will be able to. So he's building a competing bot to restream essentially. So eventually that'll be something you'll be able to do. You'll be able to do polls with it. You'll be able to do questions with it. You'll be able to do. He's building it out. It's just going to take him time. I'll tell you after stream.
Some NPC behind me. Voodoo Child question. Yep. I have an unapplied CCU to the Redeemer, currently at 61% savings, but could get more. Would you apply it for a skin? By the way, I'm waiting for Squadron 42 to start playing in the PU. So if you were to apply it now, you would get the skin, Best in Show skin. However, the Best in Show skin will not be going onto your Redeemer. So it doesn't go into your Redeemer. It becomes
yes, it does.
Kind of a locked.
Yes, it does. So if he actually upgrades to the Redeemer, if he applies that skin, he will get the Redeemer. He will get that Redeemer skin, but what he's passed...
No, he won't. No. The skin will not be in the skin will not be in the ship. So if he wants to gift it or trade it in the future,
you misunderstand.
The skin will not be in the ship.
No, you're giving incorrect information. So it doesn't go into the package, but the skin will be applied to your account. So you have to own a Redeemer to get the skin. So what he's talking about is taking another ship that he's got.
That's what I'm saying. It will be.
And what he's saying, what he's actually asking though, right, is because he's obviously got it in a CCU chain. So it's lying there in a bunch of upgrades.
Yes.
What he's asking is it worth applying the CCUs up to the Redeemer to get the skin? And the answer to that is giving up all the future savings that you can possibly get. He's already got $60 saving, he's saying, off for a Redeemer. And my answer is simply if you really want that skin and there's no other way to get it, you have to ask, is that a skin you really want? Do I like the color purple? If they bring out the skins and they're purple, do you like the color purple? Don't just do it to get it, but do it, if you do it knowing what color it is. So once we know the color of CitizenCon, then you can probably get your answer. But yes, you do give up all the future savings. I have done that. I did it on a chain that was going up to a Polaris, and I went to the Eclipse, and I got the white Eclipse skin a couple of years ago. The other way you can do it is if you just have a bunch of credit, you can outright buy the ship, hold on to it until they give you the skin, and then melt the ship. But you have to have the credit to obviously buy an entire Redeemer, right? But that's how I do it. So I have a lot of credits. Algrid's the same; he has a lot of credits. And if we don't, well, Algrid's got every ship, so he'll just get every skin anyway, so he doesn't care. But in my case, if I want a particular skin, so say it was in the Redeemer in this case, I would just go buy a Redeemer at the sale, and then after AI is over, they give us the skins, and so I'd have the Redeemer skin, and then I know I want the Redeemer, I can just melt it. But again, you've got to have the credits to work on that. I cannot answer that question for you on the savings, because skins mean different things to different people. This lady down here, absolutely freaking obsessed with the best in show skins. So she would do it. I would do it because I'm absolutely obsessed with skins. But from a value proposition standpoint, if you don't have the money, how much is a skin worth to you, right? And will that skin eventually be available?
What I'm trying to tell him, but what I'm
I know
just
what
trying to make it 100% clear,
yeah.
just in case you didn't know.
I know what you're saying.
He doesn't get a best in show Redeemer. He doesn't get a best in show Redeemer.
He knows that, and that's not what he was asking. You missed what he was. Cool. He was literally talking about, should I apply my CCU chain? They don't. So the first year they ever did the best in show, it actually was a completely separate variant. Since then, they just give you a skin that is applied to your account. And the other thing is, once you melt the ship, the skin stays there. So if you can literally afford, if you've got enough credit to buy all 4 of those ships, you can buy all 4 of them, and then after the game, turn them back into credits. And that is one way a lot of people do get all the best in show skins. It's how I've done it in the past. Like, so the last time, what was it, last year, I bought a Scorpius because it was the only ship I didn't own. And I've got the Scorpius skin, but I don't own a Scorpius as an example because I melted it. But yeah, I can't answer that question for you, Voodoo. It really comes down to how desperately do you want a ship for a skin?
Yeah, do you want a skin, yes or no?
Do you want the Redeemer as a ship down the line? It's just a skin at the end of the day. And is it, let's be honest, are they the best skins? Not always. Like that pink and white one was god-awful, but then the year after that, when they had the white, gold, and black, some of the best skins in the game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Redeemer's going to be on a war bond, right? So, you could make a whole new chain, but let's see. So, North End Trooper question. With the progress tracker update, I am seeing a couple of new unannounced ships. Any guesses on them? I'll leave this one to you.
I did have this written down the other day, but I removed it. I could probably go through it quick. So the first one's the Fury LX. So these are things that we know about, but have never been sold. And this is where it's difficult, because people go, oh yeah, this is coming out. And it's like, yes, it's coming out, but that was sold. So it's things that have been announced, but not sold or leaked, right? So you've got the Fury LX, you've got the UTV that they talked about at the end of last year. In the line, the biggest one that I think is a red herring is in the line of code is the Storm AA. Now the last 2 sales, so last AIE and last Invictus, they had 2 other lines of code that were complete red herrings. So we had the Argo MCV and we had the Saulian. Neither of them came true. So I think this time around, it's probably another red herring. and the store, because I also talked to the Army guys, and they think it is highly unlikely that you would need a very fast-moving AA. They can see a need for it to work with other storms, but if you say took out five or six storms, one of them would be the AA variant, and it's only so it can protect those tanks from but the way they describe the storm is it's almost a soloistic backline tank, like it stealth through the backline and takes out the artillery, right? So that doesn't sound like something that moves in a number of tanks, right? So having talked to the military guys, and based on my experience, we think that's a red herring. We know the 2 cutter variants are coming, so the Scout and the Expedition. So what are we at? UTV, cutter, UTV, cutter, and what's the other one I said? I forgot it already. Shit. Oh, and the Fury. So that leaves room for one more, and that's the one that I'm having trouble with. I have the Storm AA listed there as the 4th, but I think highly more than likely it's just a variant of something that we've already got. So it could be another Spartan, or, Atlas weapon platform, anything that there's out there for a variant. So like you guys said, someone brought up the X1, but there's actually already 3 variants of the X1, so that kind of rules out there being another variant of that. But
did you mention like a tractor beam enabled vehicle, or a salvage enabled vehicle?
Yeah, so there are rumors that we've been hearing of things like a salvage and a tractor beam like vehicle as well. So the rumor I heard,
most likely a mule, maybe a mule style thing.
That's what I heard. So you take off the arms off the mule, and the box at the back where it goes underneath is more like a collection box, and you basically use the mule to salvage. Now, whether that comes true, it is just a rumor. Take that with a complete grain of salt. But yeah, so obviously there's room for one more thing. But I think that, like, going through what we know, and you can only go through what you know, they're the ones that are the top of the crop. But the Storm AA, I think I don't believe what I see in the code anymore, because the last 2 have been complete bullshit. Or maybe
they could cut the Vulture. They could cut the Vulture box maker directly out of the Vulture and stick it right on the back of the mule, like the same technology, same size, everything, right?
Well,
technically, right? It's a 1 SCU box.
Well, one of the reasons that's been flying around is that Scout is clearly designed it's got a bigger cargo bay, and we think it's bigger so you can put a rock in it. But if you can put a rock in it, it also means that they can make a bigger version of the mule, and whatever that becomes the salvage vehicle or whatever. It might be a whole new vehicle, not even made by Drake, right? But that's where I think it's a rumor. I really do think that's a rumor. I really, really do, from everything I've heard. But I share what I hear, and you can see it makes sense. So it's a cheap man's Terrapin with a bigger area for a vehicle. So it's essentially what the Nomad was, right? Look what people were doing with the Nomad, and they've seen them people do that, and it's like, well, let's make a whole ship around that. And that's what this Carter variant is. It is got better scanners, so you can go out and use your rock efficiently. But I also think that means where salvage is at, they're clearly going to bring a vehicle that would be a salvage. Whether we actually get that this year, or I think whatever the last thing is going to be a variant, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know what it's a variant of, but again, we're in a year of low-hanging fruit. The other one that I want to point out there as well is we don't have a big ship for this year. So I think the last one could be a concept. So it's not straight to flight. So those 3 that I mentioned, the UTV...
Yay, more concepts, yay!
Yeah, which is common with bigger ships, and we always tend to get a bigger ship at AIE CitizenCon. So I think we'll get a concept ship and those 3 that I mentioned that go straight into game. So the Fury LX,
did they show off the RSI miner yet?
No, but that could be what we get.
They show the
that could be very well what we get.
The RSI miner. Yeah.
Yeah,
and we were talking about that last year.
That would go down really well at CitizenCon or at AIE. It would sell like hotcakes. Absolutely.
And they've been updating the mining gameplay this year as well. So, and then the large SCU cargo boxes. So it all kind of lines up, right? Eventually.
Yep. So absolutely, that could be what we're getting at CitizenCon or ARE. Absolutely. No, don't disagree with that at all. So yeah, that was the one I forgot about, was the miner actually, and the concept. So yeah, if you actually kind of wear that out, that's what I'm expecting. It's all low-hanging fruit, all easily accessible because it's just a concept. and then 3 really easy straight into game things. So yeah, I think most of this year the takeaway is not going to be. Sorry, I think the takeaway from this year's CitizenCon and AIE is not going to be the ships like regular years. I think it's that Squadron 42 is coming, and it's coming soon, type of thing. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, next question. Sorry, Expat.
Yeah, next summer, guys. Next summer.
Yes.
I'm making a prediction. Oddballs Hobby Channel question: for IAE and maybe SitCon, will we see a completely new surprise ship, or will CIG take the easy and, in my view, lazy route and only give variants as the surprise? Well, you kind of answered that, right?
Yeah, I did kind of, but yeah, you can talk to it too if you want. Go for it.
New ship variants. I mean, yeah, I mean, they could take the quote-unquote easy route, but to be honest, my opinion, I'd rather have a variant of something that we already have in game, so that it's somewhat like you can somewhat make a good purchasing decision on it, as opposed to a brand new, unseen, another thing that's going to take 2 years to make. You know what I mean? It's like we kind of have enough ships in the game, in my opinion. I don't know why we're worried about new ships, right? Because they haven't finished the old ones, and the old ones need updated. So, I mean, more stuff to stick on the list, right?
Well, it's
and then eventually engineering gameplay, more stuff to balance.
It's because that big ship
and
team's
flight mechanics,
not there.
more stuff to figure out how it flies.
Yeah, the reason why we don't have a lot of big ships is we just don't. That takes more resources and more people, and now they're building out that ship team because we're getting towards the edge of Squadron 42. That was always the plan. We should go back and look at all their plans. It hasn't changed. And they're just following that plan, and it makes a lot of financial sense what they're doing, and I don't disagree with how they're doing it. You got to remember, they started as 8 people in a garage, and they're building a company that's as big, to have as many people that are working on the Grand Theft Auto games, and we're only just a bit over halfway there. Start of the year, what was it, 860 people? They want to get to 1,400, and it's taken them years just to get to where they're at now. And that's why Star Citizen itself, Squadron 42 has taken so long. They just didn't have the people. Developers don't grow on trees. You have to teach them and learn and all that shit.
And PC 101, to quickly answer your question in chat, I have my hair so shiny because I get a new clone every day, sometimes every hour. By the way, I just don't. There's no. It just comes brand new out the factory. So let's have a look. Aaron Johnson asks the question. Now, with the different size SCUs, how bad does it affect the CAT for being a pirate ship for snagging cargo with the different SCU sizes that will not fit in the CAT? Oh, there's SCU sizes that don't fit in the Caterpillar. Is that right?
No, I think what he means is because of the random sizes of the boxes and stuff like that. And that was always going to be a case for all internalized cargo ships. Yep, you're absolutely right. It does affect the CAT. It also affects lots of ships. But they will make it so it can have 30. You can fit a 32 size cargo container in there.
So in the Caterpillar, can you do like two 32s and then one
because you'd have to put
kind of half, and then
you'd have to put
multiple
them across
small ones because they've got the thing that the catwalk, right?
Yeah, you got to put them across the bottom, absolutely, and then you could have your smaller ones on top. So a part of that would just be organizing things to fit in the CAT. But you got to remember the CAT's also got 2 tractor beams either side of it. It's got one on the wing and it's got one on the command module. So it's kind of built to load things into it, and we haven't
could be quicker.
We haven't even got there yet. There are going to be so many ships that are better at piracy just because they've got a tractor beam than others that don't. Like if you've got to get out of your, I don't know, pick a ship. If you've got to get out of your, I'm going to find one. If you're going to get out of your Freelancer,
C2.
No, Freelancer. I'm trying to pick one that's near the Cutlass. So if you get out of your Freelancer, you're gonna have to use a tractor beam to pull it in and put it into the back. Where the Cutlass has 2 tractor beams, so we can just pass it to the back. It's crazy. 2 tractor beams on a little ship like that, and one of the variant season has another one at the back. I think this. No, that's the steel that's got a turret. But you get my point. I'm trying to say though. Like the 315P's got a tractor beam, so it's gonna be better than a normal 300 because it can tractor it into its cargo bay and things like that. Tractor beams are really going to give a lot of utility to the ships that have them, and we still haven't foreseen the strengths of those because they're just not in game yet. that's a wait and see thing. But yeah, when you run it through,
when can the the Argo raft hold these boxes? That's going to require an entire update to the ship, right?
Absolutely. So
that's like the whole point of that ship. That's its only gameplay.
Yep. And again, it required the tech from the whole sea. You know how it's got to stretch out the spindle? It's got its own version of the spindle and physics grids and stuff like that. So again, I would say that is very much on the back burner because of Squadron 42. So that thing will be probably 2 years away before it can extend out like that, I reckon, at minimum. But and again, that'll be a big update to cargo. One of the cargo updates. Oh, you can now unload and load. And then think about the AI. They'll put AI in. So now the AI uses the raft when you come into a station, and it will actually unload. So essentially, a raft is a trolley for a ship that's outside that's too big to land in a.
Well, I think the current temporary solution they've got is like really, I think before any of that, I think we'll see drones. If they did want to physicalize anything, I think we'd see drones.
Yep, drones.
Because I think drones is the easy option, right? Drones with a tractor beam that just kind of magically float stuff to like a...
The drones that we've seen in concept for cargo, they actually land on top of the cargo container and they pick it up and fly with the container. But the advantage of drones is you get a lot of benefits to drones. And drones are essentially just a remote controlled... it's a mixture of a turret and a remote turret, because you're essentially just remote piloting in a ship. Because drones are not autonomous, though the cargo ones apparently are. But the drones that we have, like the mining drones on the salvage drones on the Reclaimer, or the Explorer drones and repair drones, they are someone sitting in a MFD console controlling them. So essentially, it's just a ship that you are flying remotely. So the tech's already there. It's just, again, connecting those dots. But the benefits you get, as you were kind of showing, are follow-on. So you could actually use them with tractor beams. Now they're in, but you can also start to do salvage with them. The gameplay's got to be there for them to use them. So now we're seeing salvage and the hand repair tool. Let's copy that tech onto that. You see what I mean? There's still a few more moving parts before drones are at where they need to be, because they've got to have all the pieces before they, put it all together. Otherwise, you have to do it 2 or 3 times. So they want to have all the pieces before they assemble the jigsaw puzzle, so to speak. I hope that's I know that's a weird analogy, but does it make sense, what I'm saying?
Oh, here's a question from Riddick. What new ships do you believe could be unveiled during CitizenCon? Example, small token over a $1,000 cap ship. Yeah. Do you want a ship that costs over $1,000, Riddick? If so, email Chris Roberts directly at www. Come on, man. Yeah. Do you think they're going to go over $1,000 for a ship? I don't think they need that marketing, to be honest. I really don't.
Yeah, I think they could.
I don't think they need any more of that marketing.
But again, knowing the Orion is $575, right? You'd have to assume the new RSI miner is lower than that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think CIG want to be making headlines with the price of their ships. I don't think they're going to try anything too crazy with that.
And you've got some
UK of games.
Hang on. But as LTI tokens go, they've just told us about the Fury LX, but also the UTV. If that comes in, that's an LTI token as well. And the cutter itself is not expensive. We're only expecting $5 between the variants, so you've got $45, $50, and $55. Kind of speaks for itself. So yeah, you've got plenty of LTI tokens this year. I think it's.
But yeah, someone in chat said that I mentioned an Idris variant or something variant. I mean, there very well could be. I mean, like a squadron skin.
Absolutely.
Something.
In a way.
I mean, you never know.
In a way, don't we already kind of have Idris versions? If you think about it, though, we've already got the P, the M, and the K. They're already there, mate. So, do we need another one? Not really. And we've already got Kraken variants.
There could be Sitcon. There could be Sitcon special skins.
I think you're far more likely to get something like a Polaris variant or something like that. One of the other capital ships that don't have a variant. But the one I really keep coming back to is the RSI landminer. They talked about it in concept. We know it's there. They know it's there. They've had an entire year. You know, give us the ship.
I think more likely it's going to be skins, CitizenCon special skins, and maybe SitCon special ship variants, like on all ranges. You know, so Cutlass Black, SitCon edition. You know, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe if you buy Squadron 42 with a special deluxe edition, whatever announced at SitCon, limited edition, whatever, you might get something. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to predict some of these things.
Doc Frost 142 saying an 890 jump pirate variant. Yeah, and it costs like $100 just for the skin.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. UK of Games. If you could pick only one ship to use as a solo player, which would you pick, and for what reason? My choice is the 325A. Covers combat bedlogging and a stunning design. What do you pick?
So me and Algrid at the moment have a very big guilty pleasure with the cutter. I don't know why, but we both keep going back out in the cutter. Would I use it for the final game? Probably not. But there's just something really pleasant about that ship to fly. For the final game, I'd be probably leaning into one that goes a little bit over into 2-player. I'd probably come back to the Cutlass or the Freelancer or the Spirit, one of those three in that, you know, that little bracket in there. What about yourself?
To be honest, I always recommend the Cutlass Black. It's kind of like skip all the rest, get a Cutlass. Or,
so surprised you're not a steel girl.
If you're going to be into mining, get a mining ship.
You're not a Cutlass steel girl?
No, not at all. And if you Cutlass steel is overpriced rubbish. But the I'm just gonna say it. If you had $45 handy during the last little sale we had, I would have picked up a cutter, no problem. $45, cheapest way to get into Star Citizen, and then use the ship upgrader from there. Get whatever you want. But I mean, personally, I would probably I would get a Nomad. Realistically, if I wasn't spending a lot of money, I would get a Nomad. But I'm kind of bummed that the Nomad
costs so much.
Yeah.
We can't recommend
it costs so much. I think it should be slightly less. But also the skids. I wish it was wheels instead of the floaty space magic.
So it's gone back up in price, I think. But during the week, oh wait, no, this is Australian pricing, so it is. Wait, let me just change it over before I flick it over so people can see. So I'll get rid of the Australian pricing because it confuses people that can't do math. Yep, do this, and then it should refresh that. Is it going to refresh? Yes, it did.
Nomads are pretty solid, to be honest. It's pretty solid. It's not too bad.
So,
but if you might as well go to a two-person ship, to be honest.
They still have
eventually.
They still have the color available because of Ship Showdown for $45. Now, does that mean it'll come back at $45 again for AIE or CitizenCon? Your guess is as good as mine. But at $45, if I was going into the game today and I had to buy a ship package right now today, that's the one I'd be buying. Easily. The prices is very, very good, but it's no cutter. And the cutter beats the Aurora. At that price, the cutter beats the Aurora and it beats the Mustang. So it is just an absolute no-brainer. This thing is...
The Pisces is a very specialized vessel, whereas the cutter can do everything you need to do.
Yeah. The only reason me and Algrid hesitate saying that this is the best starter is the Avenger is better at combat. And the other one
and you can make money quicker.
The other one that we're very quickly growing on us is also the 315p because it's the same price as the I believe it's the same price or $5 more than the Avenger. And that's got a tractor beam on it and it's got double the cargo of the Avenger. And then the next one's up after that, as you mentioned, was the Nomad, but it's too expensive because you've also got the Hull A that does a shitload of cargo for that price. And then and when you get to the Nomad...
come on, the Holly. Come on.
Yeah.
Who's buying the Holly? Come on, guys.
I'm just saying, if you want to do cargo, why would you go to the Nomad when you... you can go to the Hull A.
Does the Hull A really hold more cargo than like that much more cargo than like ships right next to it? Really? Does it?
Drastically more. Yep.
Really? Okay.
Yep. I can go get the stats for you if you really want, but Algo's the stats guy, not me.
Wait. What about Freelancer Max? Does it hold drastically more than a Freelancer Max?
Let's just do this. No, probably not. But can someone put up the stats for the amount of cargo a Hull A can hold versus a Nomad, and just for expats benefit, can you also put? Would you say the Freelancer? The Max. Yeah. So can you?
Freelancer Max.
All right. So put up the. Well, I know the Hull B holds more than the Max.
Because a Freelancer Max can fight. A Freelancer Max can fight.
Yeah, but a Freelancer Max is also like another $40. So you got to compare prices here, right? So a Nomad and a Hull A. Hang on, a Nomad and a Hull A are very close in price.
How much a Hull A is 64, and Freelancer Max is 129. I mean, you're going to be sitting there for hours and days and days and days playing Star Citizen. I always think like. I don't encourage people to spend more money on the game or anything, but like,
yeah, I know, but
I don't know. I just always think get a ship that can do everything, because you never know what you're really gonna like.
Yes, I don't disagree with you, but like the only difference between a Nomad and a Hull A is one can take a vehicle and the other can't, but the other has so much more cargo. So if you're already doing cargo runs, just get the Hull A. All I'm saying is a Hull A is better than a Nomad for the price point. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you'd be kind of stuck with a Hull A. Like, I mean, that's the only thing you're going to be able to do, right? But hopefully you make enough money with the Hull A. Couple of things, you can go buy some other ship. It is what it is. You can buy another ship in game.
If the Nomad was, say, $70, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because I could easily recommend it. I think one of the reasons it's not $70 is because of the 315p. You know, it would kill the 315p in a heartbeat if it was that cheap. So yeah, but
but 315 doesn't hold a vehicle. But I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of pros and cons to these things.
By the way, it's just a rock though; it's not a very big vehicle. But if it can also hold, new vehicles coming down.
The Nomad can hold pretty much everything. I mean, I can put Merlin on the back of a Nomad. I don't think I should be able to, but I can.
Yeah, but an Avenger can hold a vehicle too. And that's more. A cutter can hold a vehicle.
Yeah,
and
PTV, but it's
Trust me,
we do this. There's all kinds of things.
Trust me, Expat. We do this in groups of large numbers of people. Everything you've thought of has been talked about. It's just what happens, and that's you nut it all out, and it comes down to pure stats. And I get defeated on this.
Cool factor.
Yeah, it sounds very boring, but that's how we get to the truth. It's not about how you feel. You got to take how you feel out of this, and you just got to look at its stats. And that's why when recently me and Al have been doing those episodes on ships that we like to fly, people are like, "What the hell? That's completely different from what you teach." And it's like, well, because this is pure hard facts. There's no if, buts, or maybes there. It's black and white on paper. But I feel that this ship is amazing, and I can tell you right now, I like the Nomad. I like flying the Nomad. It's fun. You can do lots of things in it. But from a value proposition, I cannot recommend that at all. I hate it. From a value proposition, it's disgusting. You know? Disgusting. But you know, and I think in game, put it this way, John Citizen was in chat. He loves that thing. He buys it in game all the time, but he doesn't own one for the exact reason I said. Right. It's not good value. It's a great. It's only like $1 million to earn in game, so it's one of the first ships he buys all the time, and he loves doing his little runs in it. So yeah, and I know Algrid likes as well. As do I.
I mean, arguably the best way to play Star Citizen is going to be to start with a starter ship, right? In the future, you know, start with a starter ship, work your way up, right?
Well, you won't see in the future. You won't buy. Hang on. In the future, you'll just buy Star Citizen. You'll log into the game and it'll go, here's 6 or so starter ships. Which one would you like to start with? That's how the game will start. You'll just pick and off you'll go. Yeah, I guarantee it. That's how it'll start. Because that's how Freelancer started. You just you picked one of, I think it was like 3 ships, and you pick one and then off you went. And you go, this one's mainly for cargo, this one's mainly for combat, and this one's a bit of a generalist. Bang, and off you went. That's exactly the same.
Force people into the store. Okay.
I don't think. Maybe that'll maybe that'll change. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I would do it. I just sell the game and have them pick.
Jace Castle, question: what is the software that tracks the lip movements? It's called VoIP, and it's built into Star Citizen, so you can use it now. There's no additional software, nothing.
Come on, don't lie to people.
Into the game.
She's got these 2 wires, right, and they're woven into her lips. No.
I have a face mask with tracking. Okay, so
right now, if she turned the camera on, she'd look
Doran.
like a burglar. She's got a big morph suit.
Like Avatar. Do you guys know if there is a list with predicted end prizes for all ships or prizes for all ships? If you look at the Herc, A1 or cut steel, is this percentage? Well, I'm struggling with it. You want to help me with this one?
I know what he's roughly saying. So he's roughly saying he wants to know what the in-game...
Okay, steel is percentage-wise, maybe the predicted end price.
He's talking about...
Oh, real money. Okay, so predicted end price, real money for these ships, later on.
He's talking about in-game prices versus out-of-game prices, and the out-of-game prices are set by the marketing team, but the in-game prices are set by the designers, and we've already seen drastic... the Cutter Seal's a really good example. Another one was the Prowler. The Prowler at one point was $430 or 425 it was at the time, and in game you had the Hoplite for 235. Or sorry, out of game the Hoplite was 235, but then in game the Prowler cost less than the Hoplite. A ship that was almost half the price was more, and we've seen it again and again. Like where the Hammerhead in game, the Hammerhead cost 600, and now it's like 725 or whatever. And the Reclaimer is 400, yet in game the Reclaimer is 15 mil, and I think the Hammerhead's like 12 mil. How is that? That's because the prices are set by a marketing team that sell them for what they think they can get for them. They are there to raise money. So a part of my job is to try and advise you on why ships are not worth it. That's when I come out and say things like, the Perseus is a fucking awesome ship, but it's terrible value. Because it's clearly a $350 ship masquerading as a $675 ship. That's my job, because I don't want you at the end of the day to go, fuck, I got ripped off by $300, because that's what's happening. I see it coming, and there's going to be massive remorse from people. We've done multiple episodes on it, right? And a lot of the people that watch us have got that. But people don't see it coming, and it's going to come in this massive wave, and people are going to be really pissed. I bought this ship, and when people in the past, like, so people realized the one about the Prowler, and they went and complained about it. So you know what they did? In game, they increased the price of the Prowler, and now it's only slightly more than the Hoplite, only slightly. But still, it costs double in price.
Yeah, and I noticed that with the C2 as well. The C2 is like, it's a lot of money out of game. Like, it's a lot. And so the A2, A2 is the most ridiculous.
That's a good one.
$750. But in game, you can get it for what, 4 mil?
It's
stupid.
So it's 5 point. So one of them is, I think the C2 is 5.5. Then it's 5 mil for the M2,
the
and then
it's like 5.
And then it's 5.
Yeah.
So it's only like 500,000 between all 3 variants. But yeah, you're absolutely right. How does that work? Because it's rule of cool. Yeah, and this is what I try to protect people from. We saw this years ago coming, and we've been trying to do it, and people think we're like, you guys are fucking crazy lunatics, but it's everything we've said that was going to happen has been coming to pass. We didn't have proof of it. We had a theory, and we had a thought. We're like, these don't line up and don't make sense, and now we're getting more and more proof and more evidence of it.
Like the A2, so the A2 is pricier than the Carrack, but in game the Carrack is what, 12?
26. Carrack is 26 mil.
12? 13?
26 mil for the Carrack.
26 in game?
Yep.
What? Okay, so 26. And
the
it's cheaper than an A2, and the A2 is at 5.
Yeah,
so
the Carrack is the best.
No one is balancing that. No one is balancing that right now.
If I could bring the image up, I would. Just give me a second. I'm good, because I've clearly hit on something you're very slowly discovering. Just give me a second. Alpha UEC, is that what I got to search? All right, so I'm going to bring this up for you, right? And then I'm going to See if I can I open it with this? Yes, I can. Sweet. So now I can show it to everyone else. Right, cool. Right, so this is a very, very old image. Extremely old. I think it's from 2017, whatever. But it proves my point, right? And so this is obviously really outdated, right? And this was made by another YouTuber many, many moons ago. But if I zoom in, right, so you can see how low res it is. But what this is alpha UEC per dollar, right? So so you can see here, all vehicles are shit. This is why we don't recommend vehicles, because they don't. Yeah. But back in the day, even the 890 jump was good value based on this, because the amount of money you had to earn to what it was. So the Carrack and the Reclaimer in game, and again, this only covers ships that are in game, right? Because you've got to have them in game. So that's why things like the Endeavour and that, we know when they eventually get in game, they're going to have really high alpha UEC value. So that's why we recommend them a lot, right? It's the same thing with the Carrack.
Wait, we know? We know? How do you know? You don't know. You don't know what the final quanta thing is going to do to the economy, right? Do you actually know?
You can tell.
Or is this an educated guess?
A very educated guess. Extremely well thought out and educated guess, and based on all the evidence we have, right? And you can go down here. You can actually see though, right? The types of ships that we tend to recommend are at the bottom though, right? They're utility-based ships and they're bigger. If you actually go back up this list, right? You can see all the smaller ships, all the fighters, all the racers, because we've got lots of small ships in the game, and all the vehicles. All these are the ones that we don't recommend. And then as you get down the bottom here, the ones that we tend to recommend balloon out because they're the industry ships, right? Now, there's a lot more industry ships in game now than there was back then, but, you know, this is where our theories and that come from. These are all the things that we've collected over the years, you know?
Yeah, nobody, but chat, just to clarify, nobody currently knows how long it's going to take a citizen of the verse to earn one AUEC, and so nobody actually knows the value of one AUEC.
We kind of do have a rough idea, but it's not UEC. So
based on time.
Yeah, it's based on time. So Chris Roberts did say it would take roughly 200 hours. Was it 60 hours? Was it 60 hours or 60 hours to go from a freelancer to a constellation.
So, okay, but that's Chris Roberts just going, pew, I'm just gonna throw something out there. I mean, he's done it a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, but they're making cargo.
You can only,
they're making cargo missions.
You can only
salvage. All of that stuff is balanced.
Hang on. But you can only go on based on what they've said, right? So if you're going to theorize this and try and work things out the best you can only ever go on what they say. And a lot of the time, people go, "Oh, that's so outdated. They said that back in 2014." But it's time and time again when they've said nothing. Very often something comes out and it's maybe changed by 5%. Look at Death of the Spaceman. They didn't talk about that for, I think it was 8 years, and then they brought out a document and it had almost not changed at all. It was so close to what it used to be. It was not funny. And me and Agri have seen that time and time again. When they say something, it is generally very close to what it's going to be, and if they're going to change it, they will tell us they're going to change it. So based on everything they've overtold me and Algar, that's why me and Algar remember all this shit and talk about all this shit. But all our stuff is just built on the stuff that we've been told over the years. And I collect things like this. Algar collects things like this. I've got multiple pictures I can show you that explain things. Like, I'll give you an example. Real simple.
We're challenging the very core of his existence, Jeff.
No, you're not. I'm just
the core of his being.
These are pictures that I often show off in private when I'm talking to someone. So this is the old Orion, right? The old one before it doubled in size, right? Now you tell me, in what fucking universe can 5 of that prospector right there? That's a prospector, right? How the fuck can 5 of those prospectors compete with 5 people in that Orion? They can't. They can't. It's fucking... And that's now double the size. This is why the earn-down economy exists, right? Because at the moment, you're looking at a picture that's a JPEG that's the same size as another JPEG. But then when you actually start to look at the ships on scale and on mass, this is a great ship. It is not a great earner. That is a fact. It's images like this that makes, you know, I remember showing this to John Citizen, and this is the thing that changed his mind, right? He wanted a prospector, that's all he wanted. But I was trying to explain to him, you can have this and do one mission and earn that, right? So the better deal is to own this, because you might not ever want to use it in game, but you can take that and do a mission and buy any ship you want, essentially, right? So by owning one bigger ship, you're owning multiple smaller ships. That is this.
So basically, you're encouraging to buy end game content. Buy end game content.
Yeah. Instead of having like a vulture, a prospector, you know, a Pisces medical, all these little small ships, chuck them all together and get one big one, because that one big one will buy you all the shit underneath it. And here, I'll show you another image. I got another one that and some of these images aren't by me either.
I mean, I really hope that both crew and expense to run really does scale down the pay to win aspect of this whole scenario.
Man, I'm having trouble.
Some people say it's not pay to win though, but I mean, like you're saying, okay, go buy the ship because it's like so much better.
It's not pay to win.
Go buy the ship with real game money because it's so much better.
I call it pay to advance, or pay to skip the grind, right? So this this is another one off Reddit, right? And this is another one that I show in private. This brought me this and this and this and this and that, right? All he owns is the Carrack, and then he goes out and does runs in the Carrack, and it buys him all those. Now you tell me, the motherfucker that owns this one, and the chance, how long is it going to take me to earn a Carrack?
Yeah, but you said it's not pay to win. But I mean
that's not pay to win.
Can go and buy like a whole squadron of fighter jets and come and shoot you and kill you in your one fighter jet.
But he's got to have friends to do that. He's got to have a crew. He's got to have more people.
Of course he's going to have friends. Look at the size of his ship.
This guy...
Everyone knows the bigger your ship, the more friends you have. Come on.
It's not pay to win. It's not pay to win. It's pay to advance, and you still got to have friends. Okay, look at these people that own massive fleets. I could pick on Algrid here, right, as an example, right? Algrid has 3 javelins. Do you think he's got 83 friends for each of those javelins? And each javelin can up to 83 people.
Yes, he's a very popular man.
Yes, Algrid could probably pull it off, but what I'm saying is most people can't. Right? I have a Kraken. And I could probably, just like you, I could probably get 10 people to man it. But it shows me that there is a conflict, that they're going to have a really good integrated friend system and a way to pull randoms. You're going to have to play with randoms if you want to play in big ships. It's just going to be a part of how it is. Especially like if I get up and you're asleep, expat, you're not going to be able to join me on my Kraken. So I'm going to have to be able to pull in some random to play with.
We should probably make a video about multi-crew and what it's going to be like on these ships, huh?
Oh yeah.
Should probably make a video about that.
Well, yeah, subtle,
right?
Subtle. Yeah, we're doing. So you tell them what we're doing this weekend and who we're doing it with.
Oh,
it's a threesome, guys. We're doing a threesome. We're doing a threesome. Yeah.
So I've reached out. We're hopefully going to set up something where I've reached out to Moist Noodle, and we're hopefully going to have a conversation that comes off of a big rant I was having on my stream the other day about game balancing and multi-crew and how the hell Star Citizen is going to be able to balance themselves going forward as an actual game. And the difference between physicalization of teamwork and game balancing versus just okay, the ship can do this, but the actual physicalization of like game balancing based on how the ship is designed and its interior and its engineering and all this kind of stuff. So hopefully we'll have a nice conversation about that, and I think you'll find it up on YouTube at some point.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing. Sam Gropers called him wet pasta instead of moist noodle. Wet pasta. That's it. That's his younger brother. That's a joke. Keep that in your back pocket. We'll have to use that on him. He won't watch this stream. It'll be fine. Now 5 people have clipped it and sent it to him, but that's
so
fine.
I think we answered that question.
But do you understand that? Do you understand what, like, because some people don't understand or agree with the things that we teach people? But can you now understand why we teach people to buy the bigger ships? Because you can earn down and essentially save yourself money. It's better to have one big one than multiple smalls. I just want to make sure you understand that, because it's a core mark of the things we now teach.
Well, I actually would say I would encourage people to buy like limited edition ships potentially, but we don't know how that is gonna end up. Like
I'm
limited
not,
skins and shit.
Yeah,
but
you after I told you that they are going to be in game, you went and tried to get answers from people that don't have answers either. But I have heard it from So there are things I can go find, right? And when the last person that really talked about length was Disco Lando, right? And it was when he was talking about the Nox, right? And they brought out a silver Nox, and back then it's when they were talking about the whole paint system. And basically people said, he basically turned around and said, yes, you can have a silver Nox, but it won't have the decals of the Q, which was the silver Nox, right? So again, you're going out and buying, at the time you were buying best in show skins, right? You're buying the blue best in show skin. You'll be able to have a blue Carrack or a blue Hercules, but you won't be able to have the decals of that best in show skin. You might not be able to have, like, take the Carrack one, for example, you know, they have patterns and that on them, so you can't have that exact patternage, but you could still have a red and black Carrack. It just won't be, you know, in the same, well, it was a, you know,
well, let's see.
Yeah, I think.
But I also don't, like, I know you encourage people to buy like these big ships and stuff, and I can see the logic behind it. Like when you do this kind of stuff, I can see the logic. But at the same time, I kind of encourage people to buy what they can play today, because the game could be
absolutely, there's no problem with that.
You're playing tomorrow.
No, there's no problem with that. So yeah, you can get a Carrack.
I mean, don't go nuts. Like I'm not telling people to go nuts, but you know, if you enjoy jumping into the PTU a lot, and you like to do PTU testing, and you like to be like ahead of the curve, and you've got wave one, I say like buy the ship that you enjoy flying the most.
So what you're describing
for the PTU, and
so what? Let me just cut you to the chase. What you're talking about there is having an exit strategy and planning for the future. So what that would be, say for example, you really like the Freelancer, but you want a Carrack or whatever, and just say the Carrack wasn't in game as an example, right? So what you could do is you could actually own a Freelancer right now, but have a CCU for the Carrack, and at a later date when the Carrack came out, you could connect it. So in this case, let's think of another ship, the Odyssey. So
you could do that.
The Odyssey's not in game.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah, so fly the Freelancer and just have a CCU. If you like a ship and think that you might want it...
Well, you could buy a best in show CCU upgrade for a ship, right?
Absolutely.
Today, like tomorrow, you could buy a CCU.
And guess what?
And then save it for later.
That is the best way to buy them, believe it or not, because they are some of the most expensive... Like my CCU for the Cutlass, I got it for $5. It's now almost $150. It's ridiculous, and I got it for $5 all those years ago, and it's just sat in my hangar all that time, you know. So, and I go out and I buy the CCUs for those ships, because then at a later date, if I want it, I get the skin. So that's the thing that a lot of people forget. You know, we talk about making the ships available in store, or the skins available in store, but also you can do it. You can just buy a CCU. So yeah, absolutely. That's something.
By the way,
that's something I need to.
In the chat, I agree. I love my blue 600i.
So what he said was, I hope the best in show skin for the 600 this year is even remotely as good as the blue one. Expat's going for orange or sexually frustrated purple. Trust me, that's what you want, don't you? Orange or purple?
Yeah, sure. Algored question. Oh, Algored asked me a question. What's your favorite ship and why?
It'd have to be the Hercules.
Such a tough question.
Connie
Phoenix. Connie Phoenix purple. Sorry, Connie Phoenix orange. Connie Phoenix.
See, I've got it frustrated now.
Right. UK of games. Question to Expat. Streaming SC roleplay could lead to a potential acting role in the future of Squadron 42. Would I accept the offer, and which type of character would I like to play?
You just play that avatar, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you play that avatar? Yeah.
I could play an advocacy agent. Yeah, why not? I could play an advocacy agent. I could be me. I mean, how cool would it be to be me? I mean, they could change my name a bit.
Yeah.
Or they could say call sign Expat or call sign Brat.
Could they really take the piss out of with your Scottish heritage, and your character's chasing down someone that stole a bunch of kilts and haggis or something like that, or bagpipes? As a quest? No?
Oh, hello, Mark Hamill. Oh, yes, I'm going to shoot the shit out of him. Yeah, don't worry, guys, I'm on my way. You know, like, you know, you can't... Yeah, no. Hopefully it's just me. Hopefully it's just me. I don't have the power. I don't have the power in my engines. You know, like, no, none of that.
You'd make a good engineer, actually.
I would.
A Scotty reference, yeah.
To be honest, I would, to be honest, I think it'd be quite fun to play. It's always like every actor, every person that acts or whatever always says it would be great to be a villain, you know, because you can really ham it up and stuff like that. But I would be okay being like a heroic pilot.
I was on another stream, I can't remember whose it was, and they were talking about like putting other content creators in, as in like different quests and stuff like that, like little homages and stuff. And someone said they'd have to put in an A2 bomber pilot as morphologist. That was really fun. He's never gonna live that down.
I think I'd be good as like I think I'd be good as like an NPC that's maybe like kind of walking around the city or having conversations, or like maybe like at the front desk of a building or something. Hi, welcome to such and such. I should be in Kelto RX. They should put me in Kelto. Hello and welcome to Kelto RX. Feel better? Say more.
Do you know who I would do you as actually? So you know how they got the AI at Microtech that does the who did that? The lady that she streams as well. I've just forgotten her name.
The helper.
No, yeah, but she
Anna
actually...
Demetria.
Anna, that's it. But what they could do is take your voice and someone's stolen the AI and maybe at Nick's or something like that at a pirate location, and you're the voice of over her hologram. I reckon that'd be really funny.
I'm the voice of the
and
AI.
you're like just a bitch.
Cool.
Yeah, go over there and do it now. Something like that. Just, that'd be really funny. You're bossing people around. Go there or I'll kill you.
I mean, look, as long as I'm not the annoying follow mission, you know, like every game has the you have to escort this NPC.
Yeah.
As long as I don't get the escort mission, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep Expat Brat alive. Everyone failed the game. Nobody kept me alive. Nobody wanted to.
There's so many good little Easter eggs they could do, because like Board Gamer was a chef, so he could be like a chef NPC. Mr. Salt was a casino dealer, so he could be an NPC in a casino. And right themselves, you know, our old man Hurston.
I think it'd be cool. You know what would be cool is because I work as a cinematographer and photographer IRL. It'd be kind of cool if I was the camera person or the camera drone operator for you know, the guy with the stick. You know, the guy with the stick, the news guy,
Jax McCleary.
That's in the commercials. Jax McCleary. It'd be cool if there was a Jax McCleary mission where like Jax is like on the ship reporting or something like that, and I could just be the camera person or something. You know.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yeah, I reckon eventually we'll have a little homage just to
I'll have to wait for the email.
Yep. Okay, next question.
John Sky asked the question, is there anything CIG can learn from Starfield?
Yes, what not to do is always a good one.
What could they learn from Starfield? Don't compromise the vision.
Absolutely.
Don't compromise the vision. Don't rush it out.
I think
I know that's funny about a game that's like 10 years or whatever, but like don't rush it. Don't just throw it out there. And
I think they
make
learned
sure
that
the entire experience, top to bottom, is polished.
I think they learned that already from Cyberpunk, because he actually put out a letter from the chairman after Cyberpunk came out, and literally, you know, talked about I'm not going to have that happen in my game and stuff like that. I'm sure you can go find the I'm sure someone might even post it in chat, actually, the letter from the chairman. So yeah.
But gameplay mechanic wise, like if it was to take any gameplay mechanics from that game, it would be customization, planet customization, home customization. Some of those tools in that game is really nicely done. And to be honest, if they get good player home and everything customization working nicely, that would be
well, we're already seeing
that would be ideal. They should really be looking at that kind of stuff.
The modularity of outposts and buildings and that, it's all kind of been planned in mind, so I think we will kind of
he said that. Modular, guys. Drink.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're already seeing I think we're already seeing the planning for that, so I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be looking at it and maybe looking at quests and storylines and things like that. But I think they are very different games. I think you and I talked about that earlier.
So, question from Mahins. I'm looking to downsize my fleet. What is the best ship to go the best way to go about it? The best way to downsize your fleet? Go on then. Well, what's the downsize? He's sick of the big ships, man.
No, is he talking about?
Oh, no, he's not. He's not.
So which type of downsizing is he talking? The number?
Sell all your little stuff and buy the big one.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
buy the big one.
There's two different downsizings. Like, he just wants one ship, or does he want less ships, or does he want to spend less money? Because that's the other way. So it's almost a context thing. So if you're trying to get less money, I just say go down to one big ship. That's all you really need, and just try and pick a big ship that speaks to the profession that you personally like and that you can move out with and
just get a Connie. Just get a Connie Phoenix.
Wouldn't recommend a Connie Phoenix because it's limited in gameplay. That's my main problem with the luxury ships.
Well,
they only have one gameplay, right? So yeah, if you're going to get a Connie, yeah, get the Andromeda's the best one in my book. It's a good general workhorse. But again, if you want just one big ship, yeah, find that profession that works for you and get that one big capital ship up there. And when I say capital, I'm not talking Kraken or Idris. I'm talking like Reclaimer, Orion, that kind of level of capital. And if you're more into
the big stuff,
yeah, a Polaris if you're into capital, maybe an Odyssey, a Carrack, those type of things on the bigger end that you can earn down with. Because essentially, as soon as you go over all those little fighters, you can just earn them in a heartbeat. And if you actually think, I'm not going to tell you how I got to this to save time, but basically, if you essentially think about how they sell the ships, right? They have to sell an org level ship to a single person, right? So Chris Roberts has actually said that they're going to cost more when they come out. So essentially, an Idris is 30% or 30 times cheaper than it's going to be when it's finally released in the final game. So they had to make it cheap enough so one person can buy it, because people don't get together to buy things like that. It just doesn't work, right? So basically, what he told me when I interviewed him is an Aurora is going to stay the same, a Constellation is going to be about 5 times its value, and an Idris will be about 30 times its value. Now, if you extrapolate out that to the newer ships and the ships around those areas, you can quickly see something like a Javelin potentially now costs 3,000. Does that mean it is potentially going to be worth 30,000? It'll never be sold for $30,000, but you extrapolate that into Alpha UEC, you can start to see very quickly how everyone's going to have to get together to earn those bigger ships. Very quickly. So buying them, you're saving time, not just for yourself, but all the other people around you. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Question for you, actually. Is the Twitch answer faster than YouTube?
Yes. I deliberately slowed down the Twitch so it is slower, though, and I turn up the speed on the YouTube to try and get them the same. But it doesn't always work due to lag and other things and things like that. Let me have a quick look.
Okay. Question from North End Trooper. For not to tuna, you should split it to, it's more of a statement, but or a comment.
Yep.
For not to tuna, you should split it to half Twitch, half YouTube for answers. Well, I think he did a favorable.
Yeah, so I write them down.
For YouTube as well.
I write them down. So if a YouTuber comes first and then a Twitch, I try to make it so there's at least one on each. And as I said, we're probably coming to the end of doing not a tuner and moving on to something else. I don't know, just finding it a little bit long in the tooth, but.
L1B3RJ, Liburg? Which ships? Yeah?
I was just going to say, we probably need to do not a tuner in a bit, but we'll do it after this question. It's fine.
All right. Which ships have the best range to use in Pyro? Pyro ships.
Anything that's got
What's the best range? Well, the Cutter currently has good
yeah, it won't keep that
fuel, right?
Yeah, but there are a lot of really good long range ones. So there's even fighters that are like Banu Defender's got long range. The Vanguard series has got long range. Even looking at things like you get ships that are comparable in cargo. So like the Caterpillar and the Hercules, they start to. It's going to change how we think about ships, because some ships are really good short range and other ships are really good long range. And again, it's this really cool balancing mechanic. We're even starting to see it with the whole series versus other cargo ships. The whole series can carry shitloads of cargo, but it can't go down a planet. You know, so that means it's really just a station-to-station carrier. You know, so there are pluses and minuses to every single ship, and that's what I love about how they've designed this game. And it's been very interesting from Algrid and myself and others that we work with to start to find out what these flaws are. But you need to be able to work together in a big environment to all the discussions we've had over the years to get to nut this stuff out.
There might also be components specifically designed for Pyro, right? So
absolutely.
Stanton components that are not good in Pyro.
Look at the military. You know? Look at the military A drives versus the civilian A drives. The civilian A drives cost a shitload more money in game, but technically they're slower. Why is that? That's because once we go to Pyro, a military drive can't go that far. So if you put a military A drive on a Hurricane, it cannot make... I might be butchering this, so take it with a grain of salt, right? But I believe it's from ArcCorp to Microtech. You cannot make that jump with the military A drive. It doesn't work. It's too far. So you're going to go from there to Hurston, and then from Hurston to...
Yeah, that's the X00 or 00X.
Yeah, whatever. Is it a size 1 or a size 2? God, I can't even remember off the top of my head, right? Because as I said, I'm not the
size 1. Size 1.
Well, if it's a size 1,
it burns fuel, but it's fast.
If it's size 1, it's the VK 00 is the name of that drive. And that one, So I actually go get an Atlas, and I put an Atlas in it. Now, it's slightly slower, but it can actually make that jump. And there is a massive... I think it's literally 3 times the price for the Atlas over the VK 00. And that's why. Because it is way more efficient in fuel, and also over time, it'll actually save you money on fuel. So we do not have everything we need in game right now. There's so many things missing. This game Star Citizen itself is completely in its infancy because they've been building Squadron 42 this whole time. What we have here is a pretty light effects show to keep us busy while they do that. This is keeping us distracted while they do actual work. You kids over here and play while we go over here and the adults talk. That's all those analogies work. When do I get to play?
Arguably, keeping this PTU alive is probably and this PU alive is probably taking resources away that they could be otherwise finishing the.
Well, that's why.
That's a conversation.
No. That's why every time they can up the player cap, they do, because it saves them money. Every time they can they rather up the player cap than add new features, because they up the player cap, they save money. That's what it's all about. So instead of having 20 servers, they only have to have 10. It's that simple.
So do you want to do the tuna? Is it time to eat some tuna?
Oh, I see what you did there. Clever. Right, so I'm just answering a first-time chatter on Twitch. He said, when do I get to play the PTU? And I said, when you subscribe. Because I feel like that's all they've done. It was meant to be every 2 or 3 days that the next wave was going to come out or whatever, but they've done no more waves, and yet heaps of shitloads of people are subscribed, so it's not had the effect that they said it was going to have. I feel like they've just monetized the PTU. That's what it feels like anyway. All right, so...
Are you saying that the PTU is a live service? Oh,
yeah. No. All right. So for this next question, the only people I want to answer. So if you're an adult, I'm talking to the adults now, and there were people that every time I do, there was someone that last week that actually answered this and ruined it, and we had to ask another question, right? So the only people that can answer this question are Morbid Mind, Wuxry, and Eddie. Right? Can you guys just let me know if you're here or not? I will give you, 30 seconds to make sure you're here. If you're not here, too bad, you miss out.
Oh, I died.
Oh, how'd you die?
I must have starved.
Yeah.
Or hydration.
Officially does not feed herself. There you go. Right. So Morbid's here, Wuxry's here, and I'm just waiting on Eddie. Eddie's here. Right. They're all here. All right. So Expat, do you have a tiebreaker question for these 3 people? Nope.
A tiebreaker question for these 3 people. Okay, let me.
This is the last question you got to do.
About this one.
Last one.
All right. Okay, last question we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I don't know if I can do that question because it's.
I've got one. I've got one if you don't, and it's based around you though.
Is it family? Does it have to be family friendly?
Yeah, I'd prefer if it was. It can be anything sci-fi based. Like,
okay.
But up to you. I've got one that'll do it for you if you want. But yeah, it's up to you.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. It's a pretty easy one, but someone should be able to get it relatively quickly.
Okay.
And you have to be a Star Trek fan.
Yep. Go.
What?
Yeah,
What's your question?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I know the one you're going to ask now. Go ahead. That's a good one. Go.
Okay. No, it's a different one. I'm making it up now.
Do the one that you did last time. That was really good.
Who was the first cat? What one I did last time?
I'll tell you after. Don't worry. I'll tell you after.
Okay. What was the name of the first captain? The first captain to ever appear on screen, on television, on screen for the Enterprise. In Star Trek, what was the first captain to ever appear on screen?
Yeah, Morbid Mind. Who got it? Shit, I was looking at Twitch.
Nice.
Was it Eddie or was it Morbid? Shit.
Easy one.
All right, I think we have to do that again because I literally saw it come up on Twitch and then I instantly looked at YouTube and YouTube was already there. So I don't know who got it. I'll do this one then. All right. You ready? 3, 2, 1. What is Expat Brat's favorite ship?
Oh, good. I'm having to restart my game.
Oh. No one said it. No one said it. People weren't listening. They don't listen to us.
No one said it.
They don't listen to us.
No one said it.
Oh, it's fine. No one said it. Jeez, what the fuck? They've listed 65 ships and they've... you're not meant to be answering, Sanding. Shut up!
Sanding, no!
Eddie got it. Phoenix. He got it. Constellation Phoenix. Well done, Eddie. And he wasn't on Twitch, so I can tell he didn't cheat. Well done, Eddie. All right, reach out to me via Discord, Eddie, and we will get... Oh, no. Well, Eddie. Yeah, shit. We can do that now, actually. So let's flip over the camera. Eddie, we'll just go straight onto it, and you do it now. Eddie, what window would you like, sir? Would you like the square window? Brought to you by the letter blue. Do you want the succulent round window? Brought to you by Space Tomato. Do you want the Triforce triangular window brought to you by Zelda? Or do you want the TIE Fighter hexagon window? Brought to you by the death of Star Wars. But anyway, yeah, I'm not salty at all. Anyway, right, Echo.
I am.
The TIE Fighter window. He wants the TIE Fighter window. All right, here we go.
Oh, I hope it's a good one. I hope it's a good. You might have hidden that.
He won a rock.
Hit something good behind there.
That is the skin pack for one of the, I can't remember exactly which skin pack it is. I think it's the Dolvanite skin pack. So you'll get 5 skins. It's like the Reclaimer and a bunch of others. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, you get like 5 skins. So you hit me up.
So you want a skin pack and a rock.
It's worth about 30 bucks. 30 bucks.
Nice.
Yeah, so you want a skin pack. And then just to show that I'm not a monster or a liar.
Oh wait, did he get a rock or a skin pack?
No. So this
Wait a minute.
This represents the Dolvanite skin pack. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'll look it up. It's one of the skin packs because we brought all this. Me and Algrid brought all the skin packs. And so it's one of those. So yeah, and it's the one that comes for the Reclaimer and a bunch of other ships. So just to show that I'm not lying and stuff. So here's the Stonewall, and I spiced it up, and for the first time, no one's noticed, so I'm going to tell you guys now, but for the last probably 5 times, that's where no one was picking up on it, but that's where the Inferno was. So I thought, they figured it out by now. I'll move the Inferno over here. So my game is mind fucking you guys, while you're trying to figure out where I've put it. That's been the game for me. Is figuring out where everything goes. But yeah, there's everything.
Oh, it's the guy got in my elevator.
Oh, one of my 3D prints. All right, I'll fix that later. Anyway.
So, all right. Next question.
So that's been Not a Tuner. How did you find that?
Yes.
Oh, this was the Aurora, by the way. That's the Aurora Australis. That's down in Australia. That's it. That's in Tasmania, where I live. We can actually see that. That's what it looks like. That's a real photo, by the way. So yeah. Right.
Well, I can definitely confirm, without a shadow of a doubt, the rumors are true. It is not a tuna, guys. It is not a tuna.
See what you did there.
So, can you see? Riddick asks, can you see CI showing a heavy CIG? I'm guessing showing a heavy scripted 120-minute demo of Squadron 42 or new features for Star Citizen split between the 2 days of CitizenCon?
I can.
So 120-minute. It's quite specific. So 120-minute demo.
You know that vertical slice that I was talking about, like a demo. I wouldn't be surprised if we not only get that demo, they show it to us, and they walk us through it, and then they go, "Oh, and by the way, you can now play that." So they show it off as the thing they show off, and then they go, "Oh, and by the way, it's now available for download." Boom, go. That's what I reckon they'll do.
But is it only available to the people that are there?
No, I think it'll be available to all of us. Like they talked about doing a vertical slice years ago that we're going to play before release. Now, if it's a year before the game comes out, they give us that, gets us all hyped up for it. We go out and talk to all our friends and do all that shit, and then a year from now the game comes out. That was the plan from back then, and we've never heard them turn around and say, no, we're never not going to do a vertical slice. So I'm going with what I was told in the future, because I found with this game that tends to be the course. They stay the course. Now, if they do that and they don't do that, will I be surprised? No. But just based on what they've said in the future, in the past, that's what they said. There'll be a vertical slice.
You think that's happening? Okay. If Squadron, this is from North End Trooper. If Squadron 42 releases on console, will CIG have Squadron 42 be playable on the Xbox S or just go to the PS5 only? It will be both consoles, I would expect, because why not? Money.
No. What he's
it will only be for the future versions.
Hang on. What he's talking about is when you release a game on Xbox, it's got to have paradigm, so it's got to work on both versions of the Xbox, and one of the Xboxes is almost half as powerful as the other one. That's what he's talking about. And recently, when Baldur's Gate came out,
I think he's asking it for PS5 only.
That's why he says for PS5 only, because you've got to have that paradigm. Because you've got to have that paradigm, and it's too hard to get it to work on the weaker console. That's what they were doing with Baldur's Gate. So Baldur's Gate comes out this week on PlayStation, and they were never going to release it on Xbox until they could, because they couldn't get the split screen co-op to work on the older Xbox.
Xbox needs to
let me finish.
John's not a thing.
Yeah, and then when Phil Spencer met up with the guy from Baldur's Gate for the first time ever, because he saw how popular Baldur's Gate were, Mr. Spencer changed his mind and said, right, you can release it without the split screen co-op for the shittier Xbox, and keep working on it, and eventually you can release it as a patch or whatever. So they're going to get it working, but it might take 12 months to get it work on the shittier Xbox, because for that mode they're going to have to go back into the game and turn down all the quality of the models to get it working to get in co-op. So that's a shit ton of work, right? But if they get it to work,
in a way, I can't complain that they're increasing the value for their customers. You know what, Xbox?
But
that's okay.
But it's made it a lot harder for developers to make games. And so, but now there's a precedent. They can go, well, you did it for Baldur's Gate 3. Can you do it for my game? So now they've finally got Microsoft to bend. I think a lot more developers will say, look, we'll release it for this, but we can't have this in the game. And if they do it like that, I think you'll start to see, because it's been a real thorn in the side of developers, because it's like tying one hand behind their back, because one of the advantages of consoles is...
Wait a minute. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but you're wrong. Because hell let loose.
Let me finish. What the advantage of a console over a PC, right, is PCs have drastically different hardware, and they come at it from a brute force approach. A console is lower end hardware, but because it's lower end and everyone has exactly the same hardware, you can optimize it specifically for that machine. As soon as you've got two consoles, and one is drastically less powerful than the other, you have to make compromises. And that's why this whole dual console thing has fallen apart. It's why PlayStation hasn't had two separate ones. It's why the way PlayStation have done it is they make one, and then they make a more powerful one. Anyway, that's all I was saying.
But Hell Let Loose is released on Xbox Series X only. Not the original. So what's that deal then?
That might be another exception to the rule. I don't know about that one. I didn't know it even come out that way.
Yeah,
because it was
that's why I'm a bit like,
what's happening? What's happening with Baldur's Gate 3 is meant to be the first one it's ever happened to. So I'm not a big Xbox person.
Oh, okay.
You're talking the wrong brother there. My brother's the Xbox person. Gaming is intertwined in my family, by the way. One of my brothers is a game reviewer. One of us is an Xbox user. One of us is a PlayStation user, and one of us is a PC user. And we all do different content for different games and stuff like that. It's very weird.
And the PlayStation guy is wrong, but that's okay. So
he's also the youngest, so you'll have to forgive him.
Riddick asks a lot of questions. What happened to ship modules? Oh, we're going to talk about guys. You're going to be drinking.
They're still coming. They're still coming.
We're going to be talking about modularity.
They're still coming.
The Retaliator rework complete a while ago. Yeah. So where's the Retaliator rework and ship modules? Where is it? Where is it? Execute.
When did it complete? I never saw it complete. They extended it on the roadmap was the last time I saw, and I think they realized they were going to have to rework that ship quite drastically. So instead of just taking 6 months to redo a door, they're redoing the whole gold pass on that thing, which is what I would do too. Why do it once only to have to do it later when you can do it all right now? So they might have just kicked the can down the road and said, right, kick it off the roadmap. Don't worry about making it work for modularity and all that. Do it as just a single gold pass a little
Honestly,
later.
I just had a pretty funny vision of the entire CIG development team just running down a road in Manchester kicking so many cans. There's like so many cans.
It's like Just Married Brigade, but the
a wave of cans. There's a wave of cans.
You ever heard those? You know when someone
right now.
you know when someone knocks over the drinks in the aisle, and that you hear all the cans fall down. It's like that, but just going down the road. Yeah.
So Riddick asked another question: did CI say they would have ailerons, etc., implemented soon? Well, that is a new flight mechanic, newer than the flight mechanic that they're currently testing, which is a new flight mechanic.
I have not heard anything
that's another
about
flight
that.
mechanic after the flight mechanic you're working on now.
I haven't heard anything. That's all new to me.
But yes, I think in a previous video they did talk about ailerons. They did because they were talking about atmospheric and surfaces, flight surfaces. And that would be a thing. So I would imagine ailerons are a part of it. Axis 0096 question. Could this be an attempt by CIG to simulate XI and tech? XI? Xian tech. Oh my God. I cannot. The turtle tech. So are they is CIG attempting to simulate Xian tech? I wonder what that was in reference to.
The Mirai?
I'm not sure.
Maybe the Mirai, the Fury LX?
Maybe the Mirai? Yeah. I think they said that was from that.
Yeah, they did. Mizk has an exclusive contract with the Xian for engine design and stuff like that, and in return, the Xian have the ability to build a whole series in Xian space. That is the in-law deal. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
All right,
528
this
question.
Is the last question. Last question. So make it a good one.
Oh, last question.
Yep.
Are you gonna do some of these questions on the next one or?
Nope. You miss it. That's how.
Oh my God!
Because me and Algrid originally wanted to do a 2-hour stream when we started doing this. We went to 4 hours, and it's just been exhausting.
I'm gonna read some. You know what? We're like almost done. We can quick do some questions. Wait.
Let me have a look.
Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So
it's about 15 questions. All right.
Is this the best time?
Go ahead.
Is this the best time to buy the game? Are ships cheaper?
Do you want to? Yes, ships are cheaper, and do you like development? That basically answers it. Do you want to watch them develop the game?
Okay.
Yes,
Citizen John, when will they sort out the size of rocks when mining and when they
start actually working on Star Citizen?
When's mining going to have a yield equal to the rock?
Yeah. So what he's saying is because at the moment the yields are a little bit all over the place because they're placeholder stuff.
Alpha stages. Yeah. So mining is still early, like everything else.
Yeah. So when they start working on the game. Yep. Next one.
Oh yeah, because rocks look bigger than they are. Doc Frost 42. Can you buy just the skin during IAE? No.
No, but one thing
Voodoo Child,
the one
question,
thing.
if Squadron 42 is on console,
hang on.
Oh,
but the one thing
the
you
CCU.
yeah, buy the CCU. Sorry, I got to go ahead.
Buy the CCU.
Yes.
Okay.
To that ship that you want. To that ship that you.
If Squadron 42 is on console, how serious will the PC requirements be? I think the PC requirements are going to be prioritized if it goes to console.
Yeah. So the other thing is they've obviously able to optimize it a lot more for a console, and if you've noticed, they've been building a shitload of level of detail. So it will never. I don't think it'll look as good on console as it will look on a high-end PC. Put it that way. But we'll see. And they have frame rate issues as well. So like,
I think Chris Roberts will try and make it better.
Yep. All right. Next question.
Walker 300. Do you think a ship like the SRV will be able to tractor ships in quantum from one location to another? Great question.
Yes, you can. And it is stated in the concept sale that it can do that. Yes, absolutely. And it's not the only ship that'll be able to do that too.
All right, amazing.
The Crucible should be able to do that as well. All right.
Wow. Riddick, could we see a promotional ship tied to an NVIDIA or AMD card, etc. at CitizenCon?
So we've seen an AMD.
Ooh, another team up.
We've already seen an AMD Intel one. Chris did actually joke about NVIDIA reaching out. Whether they will, I don't know. But yeah, an AMD one, possibly. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be cool. Not going to say it's going to happen, but yeah, it would be cool. I'd definitely pick it up again because they are some of the rarest ships in the game, believe it or not.
I wonder what product it'll be attached to.
The Raven and the Mustang Omega, the two rarest ships in the game, and the Star Kitten Dragonfly is the third.
Yeah. Oh, Star Kitten. I really want that. North End Trooper asks, do you think there will be a day one NVIDIA and AMD driver update for Squadron 42 for PC?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good. That would mean they would have to partner with them, but I would assume so.
Yeah, anything that's got a big release, NVIDIA or AMD will do a video. Let's put it this way: how well the hype goes for Squadron 42 and how well it reviews will dictate all that. If this vertical slice comes out and there's an amazing trailer and it plays really well and it just blows people away, like it's a really good demo, no idea to tell how big it's going to go, really. How long's a piece of string, man? You know? So
2 meters. But okay, so next one. North End Trooper. What is the best value ship between 200 and 350? What's the best value ship? What's in that category roughly?
You know what I'm going to say. It's an Endeavor. It's at $350. That's the best value ship. If you could only buy one ship right now.
Oh, is that the MISC? The MISC?
The MISC Endeavor. For $350, it is the best value ship in this game, bar none. Because that thing is going to skyrocket in size and value, and it's just like the last rumors we heard of it. Like, we've got an episode, it's one of the most popular episodes on the channel, called Last Chance for the Endeavor, right? And we talked about this 2-3 years ago. The last info we had at one point, they were talking about being as big as a Bengal. That's nuts.
As big as a Bengal?
Big as a Bengal. Yeah, but we realistically we realistically think it'll probably be as big as a Kraken, right? But if it's as big as a Kraken and only costs $350, you tell me how that's not good value. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. E.
Yep.
Well, there's a question is about journey of the day. I guess okay. Somebody asking a question is not a question, but I understand. Standard security and logistics and federation. Question is standard security, and I don't know who asked this. Oh my God, is that who asked this? The Standard Security and Logistics Federation? Holy moly. Question.
Yep.
Is the Orion the only capital you can CCU, not a limited hull ship?
So the Orion used to be limited. It's not limited anymore. It used to be. It's not anymore. And the Polaris was the same for a while. It was limited, and then they made it unlimited again. So the only real kind of limited one that breaks their own rules is the is really the Pioneer. The Pioneer is under $1,000 and it's never had a CCU. But they've literally said the only ships over $1,000 don't get CCUs. But for some reason, the Pioneer has just never had one. and it's a $850 ship, so it should have a CCU, but it doesn't. And it's really frustrating, and it's gone absolutely nuts on the black market and grey market because of that. So yeah, eventually I think it'll get one when they figure out what the ship's going to be.
Silfirma asks the question, what is the smallest feature in terms of dev effort that would make the most difference to us all? The Mobiglass, the Mobiglass, the map, the Mobiglass, the map, the Mobiglass,
the map. Now it's actually
map.
Yep, absolutely, but it is actually a lot of work. It is a lot of work to make a good map, but it is the biggest. It'll give us the biggest quality of life.
Copy paste the one they have online. Just copy paste it.
It's coming.
All right,
it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Settle down. You're almost as bad as Space Tomato. Like in the background, people rant at each other as content creators sometimes, just a vent. And Space Tomato has ranted about that map. All right, I'll leave it at that. All
right. Doc Frost 42. Isn't the Phoenix supposed to be better spec'd than the Andromeda? Yes, it is. Yes. I believe, and I found out this from their YouTube video about it, where it was in their top 10 worst ships, because it's actually supposed to be way better than it is.
Do you know one day we should just get you and Algrid together to rant about the Phoenix, because he will talk about the Phoenix to the cows come home. He has nothing but complaints and contempt for that ship, and it shows very clearly how much the Constellation series is going to get a big, massive rework. It's got Chris's name on it.
Hopefully.
It's Chris's favorite ship. It's got Chris's name on it. That ship is going to be one of the best ships in the entire game. And it's like you said on your own stream, it is the middle of the road ship for everything. Everything else is built around that. It's like the most middle of the road ship you could possibly get. It is the cornerstone of this entire game. If that is not the best ship in the entire game, generally speaking, I will be mortified and really surprised. So yeah, and you said that yourself, did you not? Something or words to those effect on your stream? Yeah.
So last two questions, and then we're done. And we got all the questions, so no complaining. Margavit, I got a question for you. Have they fixed duping, and do you expect a wipe for 320? Yes, I expect a wipe for 320. Have they fixed duping? I don't personally know any current duping things that you can do at the moment. I don't know if they fixed the one with the Drake mule and the skins and the drugs and stuff, but let's hope, right? Let's hope. If anybody knows anything about that, answer that in chat.
The person to talk to would be Daily Noob. He does a lot of the testing for duping and stuff like that. Anyway, last question.
Last question. Eddie, what about the Phoenix? Is it limited to, and does it cost $1,000?
So it is limited, but it's so how do I explain this? So what I mean is it's limited, but you can get CCUs for it. Right? You can't get CCUs for the Pioneer. So it's more than limited. It's just kind of like cock-blocked. I don't know what else to call it. It's in this weird spot that just doesn't make sense. You can buy it outright, but you can't buy a CCU for it. Now, you can't get CCUs anymore for the Phoenix, but there was a time when you could get CCUs for the Phoenix. That's the difference.
Yeah, you can't get an LTI Phoenix, sadly.
Yeah. Oh, you could. And you could, by the way, there was I remember there was an upgrade when the Phoenix dropped. It was $125, and I went, fuck that. Wish I brought one now because I saw it going for like $600. They are really expensive because you can make it an LTI Phoenix, you see. So yeah.
Yeah.
I just like one I had that I sold off to someone for, by the way, this is for cheap. I had an upgrade that went backwards from the Caterpillar to the Aquila, so I went backwards $15, and I sold it for about $150, and that was cheap because it allows you to get a pirate Caterpillar with LTI, even though it was going backwards in the wrong direction by $15.
Interesting.
So there are some really rare CCUs out there. If you've been playing the game for a long time, go into your account and have a look at some of the stuff you got. Pull it out at the cobweb, dust the cobwebs up. You might find you got some nice little gems in there, and you can sell that off if you don't want it.
Eclipse, a white Eclipse CCU, call me.
Yeah.
Hi.
That's 555 hot tub. 555 hot tub.
Yeah. Well, look at the time.
Right.
Looks like we did all our questions.
Where can people find you, Mrs. Expat Brat? Where can they find you?
Twitch.tv/Expat Brat, streaming live on Twitch, Star Cinema. And they can also find me on YouTube. To be honest, if you go to twitch.tv/expatbrat, you can find all of my social links, everything. Twitter, expat brat _, and
you can
sign up for my YouTube, guys. I need help.
You can even find a photo of her face. She is a real person.
I have a face.
And surprisingly, she's not hideous. It's great. Your dreams will be fulfilled.
Yeah. Actually, I actually need to make a really big plug for my YouTube. I'm still not at 1,000 subscribers. I know my YouTube is terrible, guys. I know it's just VODs and it's a copy paste from Twitch straight onto YouTube. I know it's lazy, but one day I will make content there. But I don't want to try and get to 1,000 subs, please. Okay.
All right. So I always know it's time to end the stream when there are less viewers on YouTube than on Twitch. That's my metric for ending the stream. So we're going to set up the raid on Twitch. We're going to raid DG360, our mate that needs a help. So go over there. What would you like them to tell DG as a message from us, Expat? I'll let you pick this week. He looks a bit like Agrid.
Well, have you got a bunch of emotes you can post in the Twitch real quick?
Yeah.
They should spam those emotes and make sure you're subbed so you don't look like you don't have them.
Give him a bunch of the bat slaps for me.
Emotes.
The bat slaps for me.
Emotes.
And the kitty cat salutes. Give him those. What? So if I post them, they can copy them, can they? Or is it only?
Yeah, I mean, you could just post something as long as it's free. Have you got any free?
Yeah, I've got free ones, but then I've got non-free ones.
Emotes?
Yeah. Look, I'm just gonna do that. There we go. Woof. There's
just post the free ones, and then everyone can go. Yeah.
All right then. Twitch, say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube, say goodbye to Twitch. Have a good time. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And there goes Twitch. So Twitch is gone. All right, as for YouTube, yeah, we said earlier, Mrs. Expat and Mr. Wet Pasta, or aka Moist Noodle, and myself will be doing a show this weekend, and we'll get that off to you. I hope you enjoy. With that, that's been Expat Brat. I'm an Execute.
And make sure to like and subscribe all that kind of stuff, guys. Yeah, like and subscribe the video.
I am terrible at self-promotion, I'll tell you that right now. These guys are used to it, though.
You have to.
I'm terrible.
Hit the buttons, hit the buttons.
Hit the buttons. Punch that button. Yeah, cool. All right, with that then, we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.